Jinkies, everyone, and welcome to another Meme Stock Meltdown. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good day. Hope your week's starting out all right. And today, yes, it's time to return to the strange world of meme stocks, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC, and others. People delusional who believe that their poor purchases are going to result in a lifetime of millions, if not billions, of dollars. So this should be good. This should be good. Let's see what's going on in chat. History Chick 96, thanks for 41 months. Feistiest Bard, thanks for an 80 stream streak, much appreciated. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream, it would be helpful. And also, it is September, so now's a great time, if you haven't before, to get a subscription. Helps you avoid ads on Twitch, all that good stuff. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Did something specific happen? It's just been a while. It's been a while. Before the festivities start, what's the procedure for claiming the bingo sub from 2 bingos ago? Just ask. Here we go. Gift sub. And I'll check your name off. So, this quarter's, or the last quarter's, quarter 2 results came out. Ryan Cohen diluted the stock more, which lowered the price. The meme stock people are pretty salty about that, but the most extreme of them, like Marantz, of course, have justified it and decided, no, it's part of some super secret plan. But also, don't worry, we don't need to know the plan. It's all fine. So they're doing great. Marantz left his family and got a tattoo. He's having a midlife crisis, or as he puts it, a rebirth. So that's good. Looking for a pen. Where's my pen? The concept of a plan? Yeah. They are the grift that keeps on giving. Did it gift the sub? Did it do it? Let's see. Hey, Finn G. Swan, glad you could make it. I mean, he left his children. I mean, him and his wife are separating, which I'm not going to get into the personal aspect of that, because I don't care. It's none of my business. But it does seem to be related to the GameStop stuff, which is only why I bring it up. He seems to not be doing great. There we go. A pencil will work to cross your name. Stone Corbell, thanks for 51 months, says that's a long time. It is, and it's a long time to go. Yeah, vis-a-vis the Marantz stuff, here's something he said. Where was it? This was shortly after he and his wife separated, and this is what he said. Hummel Homestead says, Velma's funny because the bad guy's not a ghost or a ghoul, it's usually an old guy capitalist, Jinkies. It's the perfect outfit for today.
And I have a plan for me, for this investment, for this channel, and for my life and my family, everybody. And if at any time you don't agree with the way I'm doing it or the way I'm going, and you're my partner, we're going to have a really serious conversation about growth, about goals, and if they're aligned. If you're not ready for what's coming, if you haven't prepared yourself for what GameStop is, will be, what this investment will be, what this channel will be, then maybe you're not me. But I'm very invested, and I'm fully aware of what's going to happen. When I tell you, and whether you back me or not, I need to know. Certainly if you're my wife or my child or my family, immediate family. Right now, I'm standing on my 10 toes. I'm telling you guys, I'm GameStop forever. I'm extremely dedicated to this investment. And as psychotic as it sounds to other people, they're not me. They don't understand me. They'll never understand my mindset. But it's my mindset.
I can't say I understand him, I don't even know why it would be necessary to leave your wife over this. But okay, he seems to have decided that that's what he wants to do with his life. I think that's a little weird, but whatever. Weird to admit it on the internet too, in my opinion. Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs and kicking off a hype train. 4% to level 4 on the hype train. Again, it's September, so bits, subs, all that helps.
Doesn't have to be yours. You can call me psychotic all you want. But the people that they call crazy, they might just be calling you for other reasons. Like, hey, how did you know? How are you so right? Why were you always correct about those other investments as well, not just GameStop? Study it. See it from a different light. That's all I'm asking. But for me personally, I'm going to do what's right for you, do what's right for me, do what's right for my family, and I do it in a very respectful manner. I don't drag my wife through the dirt. Never have, I never will. So I say it to you guys because I'm transparent enough to tell you I'm doing what's best for me.
I feel very bad for his wife and children. Genuinely. I don't know what that relationship was like, but I'm imagining it wasn't great if this is the result. Marcus Drake says, what are the odds his wife left him, not the other way around, because she likes having money? It's possible, and he could just be fronting. Who knows? Who knows? It seems to be something about this stuff, though. So, very sad.
For once in my life, I'm being a little selfish in a way, but it's for good reasons. It's time to be. It's time to put my best foot forward. So, I thank you guys so much. I hope you...
Oof. Penekagami says it's cringe to leave your partner over political differences, but stock disagreements? You're gone, bitch. I don't think it's cringe to leave your partner over political differences. Your political differences are like your ethos. So I think that's actually probably one of the better reasons, but you know. Anyway, so that's that. Also, he got a tattoo in the title when I talked about someone got a GameStop tattoo. Yeah, it was Marantz. Let's get the video. We'll show you the result. He got it done by a fan of his. He didn't actually go to like a shop. I think he went to someone's basement shop, if you want to call it that. I don't know about the sanitation of that, but whatever. It's not my skin. So here's the GameStop tattoo he got.
Killing it out here. Looks clean as hell. I don't know what else to do with my life. This is awesome. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I'm having a rebirth. Let's get it.
He's posting these. He's filming these and posting these. No one's making him do it. Why is he doing this to himself? Oh, God. Anyway, so, that's how he's doing. Let's jump over to the world of Bed Bath & Beyond. We'll come back to Marantz later. But for now, let's move over to Michael and see how he's doing. This video was entitled, What Happened to Bed Bath & Beyond? Darhas41, thanks for 27 months. This sub-baby's name is going to be... Tattoo Removal Specialist. We'll set that sub-baby aside for Marantz. Lennon Cat says he's doing this. I'm not owned. I continue to insist as I slowly shrink and transform into a corn cob. Yeah.
Hey, why have you worked your ass off trying to kill this case?
All right, fine.
Can you track the media?
Like a coincidence.
This is just a scene from the other guys. I'm gonna skip it.
Into bed.
It's in a career where you go all in. This is it. All right.
Penekagami says, no, I agree with you, but I bet Trump supporting Marantz would say that refusing to date a Republican because they're a Republican is awful and stupid. Not, you know, people refusing to date a monster. Fair. 30 seconds on the hype train.
What happened to Bed Bath & Beyond? The story might seem as simple as it just didn't work out.
Yep.
Any one piece of the puzzle might seem like a coincidence. But when you start to follow the money and see how much of it ends up in the same places, it makes you start to wonder, why?
Because it was a poorly run company. That's why.
The story of Bed Bath & Beyond isn't a series of unfortunate events, but rather a heist. There are very few people looking because who the money was stolen from is kind of ambiguous. It's shareholders. It's employees. It would be like if your house got broken into and you followed the muddy footprints to find where all of your valuable possessions were and someone said it was an accident. Would you believe it?
That's not what it's like, though. That's not what it's like at all. You lost money on an investment because it was a bad investment. It's not a robbery. People were screaming at you constantly, hey, you're gonna lose money on this. And you're like, no, you just don't get it. Ugh.
Stumbled into your house and just accidentally collected all the most valuable things and then accidentally left. To assume Bed Bath & Beyond was merely just a failed business plan that great executives tried everything they could do to save but couldn't is just not true. All the important things in a company happen behind closed doors. Shareholders can be like victims in Plato's cave, where they're tied down and all they get to see are shadows on the wall.
We did it! We referenced Plato in this stock analysis video! We've reached it! This is peak!
But when you really start looking at those shadows, you can figure some stuff out, especially if you follow the money. In the case of Bed Bath & Beyond, there was a lot of money that moved around. At least tens of billions, potentially a lot more. What I'm going to say is speculative, and I'll say it's all allegations, some of it more substantiated than others. I think the story starts back in 2014.
Your punishment must be more severe. Surely you've heard of Bain capital punishment.
Yes.
When this economy is ashes, you'll have my permission to die.
This is probably
The joke there is that there's a famous firm called Bain Capital, spelled B-I-A-N-E Capital. But it's Bane from Batman, in case anyone didn't get that.
the most speculative part of it. Bain Capital, McKinsey, and Boston Consulting seem to have a lot of involvement with the demise of Bed Bath & Beyond as far back as 2009.
Bittergrin, thanks for a 40 stream streak. Mitt Romney's company. He worked for Bain Capital. It's not his company in the sense that he owns it.
And also have a lot of connections to the companies who ended up with a market share afterwards and the properties that were sold. When you look at who they work with and how much they would stand to gain, you can't help but wonder. Amazon, Microsoft, World Economic Forum, Wayfair.
Oh, the World Economic Forum. We had to get that in there. For those who don't know, Michael's into other conspiracy theories now. So he's starting to get into, like, history conspiracy theories surrounding the world wars. Wink, wink. Yeah, it's not great. Freyline says, it's like if your house had awful wiring and it set your house on fire and you looked at the boot prints of the firefighters and assumed they stole your stuff and lit the house on fire to cover their theft. That's a better comparison. Yes.
Meta, Google, Salesforce. You can see that they're clearly moving towards online retail and big box stores.
Did he co-found Bain? I actually didn't know that. I thought he just worked for them.
Like
Sorry, it's been a while since 2012.
Bed Bath & Beyond get in the way. I believe this is where the plan was hatched. Like any financial fraud, this is a Ponzi. And the Ponzi goes like this. Like any financial fraud, this is a Ponzi. And
Every financial fraud is not a Ponzi scheme. Does he think every... I'm just going to hope he misspoke. No, every fraud is not a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is a specific kind of financial crime.
the Ponzi...
It's like saying all crime is larceny. Like, no, it's not. There's specific crimes that fall under larceny, but not all crimes are larceny.
goes like this. You have people lend you money up front. Let's say a bond, $1,000 bond, which pays interest. You take the money up front, you start paying the interest, and the goal is to never have to actually pay the whole thing back. You get more and more people giving you money. You sell more and more bonds. And if the company goes bankrupt, you never have to pay them back. Where you buy something, you get it evaluated higher than it should be. You gut everything of value out of it. You buy insurance on it, and then you burn it down, collect the insurance, and move on to the next scam. In this scam, there's lots of victims. The bondholders, the shareholders, the employees, and you can see which companies they targeted by the appearance of these tokenized shares on the blockchain. That's crypto-based, supposedly one-to-one backed securities. We wonder who invented the meme stock. Was it Ryan Cohen? He might have perfected it, but really who invented it must have been institutions, because they were trading all the way back in 2019, long before Ryan Cohen entered GameStop. Billions of these tokens were trading.
Is he saying because it later became a meme stock, they were still meme stocks prior to the meme stockification of them? That's not how that works.
Why they were
It
trading?
doesn't regressively go back in time and change the nature of the stocks when they were treated more normally.
I don't know. That's one of many things that happens behind closed doors that we don't get to know about. I have a few speculations. One is used as collateral on a balance sheet. If you short sell a stock, you borrow a stock, sell it onto the market, and then pay it back later, hopefully at a lower price to make money. There's many reasons you would do that. One is that you don't have to pay taxes until you cover your short position. And if the company goes bankrupt, you never have to pay taxes.
Yeah, that's not true. I don't know where they got this idea. This is like an idea that's circling around in meme stock communities, that if you're a short seller and the company you were shorting goes out of business, you don't need to pay taxes on your gains. That's not true. That's just straight up not true as far as I understand. It's still capital gains, so it's whatever the capital gains tax is for where you are. Like, that's it. Just an untrue statement that they've turned into a meme?
And two, it's a lot easier to bet against something, to destroy it, than to build something of value. In order to borrow a stock and sell it onto the market, you have to have margin. You have to have room in case the price of that security goes up, at which point you would have to buy it at a higher price.
How does he think that works? It's a means to an end. He needs to believe that there's a logical reason they would crash these companies into the ground, so there needs to be some sort of incentive for them to do that. So by manufacturing or taking on this myth that they don't have to pay taxes if the company goes bankrupt, it gives them that incentive set. They're working backwards, basically. They're working with, they think evil people destroyed this company maliciously, and in order to justify that end, they need to work backwards and come up with motives.
Lose money. It's possible they were using these tokenized shares on their balance sheet to look like they had shares of companies at
What is he talking about?
that time that were doing well, like Bed Bath & Beyond.
Bed Bath wasn't ever tokenized on the blockchain, right? Am I crazy? I don't even know what he's talking about. Riot is Bunny Queen. Thanks for 35 months with Prime.
Or GameStop. Or these tokenized shares could have been used as locates in order to borrow. There's many other reasons they could have used them, none of which are transparent and should be looked into. When you look at the players using these tokenized shares, conveniently they all have the same accountant, which is PricewaterhouseCoopers. We saw a glimpse of the problem of these tokenized shares with the collapse of FTX. We heard about losing Bitcoin and Ethereum, and very few people talked about these tokenized shares, but there was actually billions and billions of dollars worth of tokenized shares of AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, and GameStop.
I gotta Google real quick, because I've heard them use this phrase, and I completely forget. What is... Sorry, that activated my phone, and I'm sorry if that activated your phones. That was an accident. What is the definition of a tokenized share? Digital representation of a share of ownership in a publicly traded company. So it is a blockchain related thing. I don't think these were ever on the, they never did this for Bed Bath & Beyond, to my knowledge, right? Bed Bath. Look this up. The only place I can find talking, and this is with a cursory glance, mind you, the only place I can find talking about BBBY shares on the blockchain is on the meme stock BBBY subreddit. So I think this is just another thing they've made up. That's interesting. Sorry, it's hard to discuss these things when you have to parse things that are, like, inaccurate, but you need to correct from the things that are just outright fabrications. I don't know. Dividing those from each other can be difficult sometimes. Glad we got there, though. Woohoo.
That was the first step. The next step, in the typical mafia shakeout, is to extract all the value. At this point, they use proxy solicitors to get the votes. People like Vanguard, BlackRock, all these people that have big mutual funds, they can take your vote and they can put whoever they want on the board and control compensation or however the company uses their money. In the case of Bed Bath & Beyond,
That's
elected...
the nature of public companies. Does Michael just not like public companies? Does he not like capitalism? I know we've talked about this being a lot of these people's problem is that they barely understand certain market mechanics, and then it confuses them, or they don't like it, so they assume it must be nefarious instead of understanding it's just like, yeah, that's the system. Like, you don't like it, maybe you're in the wrong political ideology, because Michael is like a MAGA guy, so I don't understand.
Mark Triton to the board. And from day one, he did everything he could to destroy all the value in Bed Bath & Beyond. He installed a Boston Consulting Group e-commerce solution, Blue Yonder, which for some reason didn't do well during COVID when Wayfair did really well. Probably a coincidence, right? He began...
I mean, that's not even what a coincidence is. That's just two things happening that are unrelated. Bed Bath & Beyond is a toxic brand. No one wants to shop there.
Using the whole $1.5 billion...
I'm speaking in generalities, of course. Broadly, people are not interested in Bed Bath & Beyond. Wayfair has a better consumer view. Consumers have a better consumer view of Wayfair than they do Bed Bath & Beyond.
Cash on hand that Bed Bath & Beyond had for share buybacks. He sold all the properties which were worth $1 billion for $250 million to people he seems to be connected to. He then used that money for more share buybacks, unbelievably. It probably isn't a...
Ryan Cohen wanted share buybacks when he was briefly involved in Bed Bath & Beyond, by the way, and they love Ryan Cohen. So he's upset about the buybacks, even though that was also Ryan Cohen's strategy. Zytam, thanks for 13 months, says most of them were gifted, though.
Coincidence, though, that in 2020, they got rid of their dividend, but kept doing the share buybacks. If you couldn't afford the dividend, how could you afford the share buybacks? It doesn't really make sense, right? Unless people have been short selling.
That's true. Wayfair is also still a company. But he was talking about back in 2020 when Bed Bath was still around.
The stock, or naked short selling, which is just counterfeiting shares. And they didn't want to have to pay the dividend. Because if you counterfeited a bunch of shares, if you had a bunch of IOUs floating around, and those shareholders thought they had real shares, when that dividend came up, you'd have to pay it. So if you printed double...
That doesn't make sense, though, because if they were making fake shares to short, then there'd be no one they were loaning them from, because they would be manufactured. They come up with this idea of, like, naked short selling, but then they still, in their head, think about them like normal shares that are borrowed from someone. Like, what?
The shares, or triple, you'd have to pay all those dividends out. And it'd be very apparent that you counterfeited. So they got rid of the dividend, but kept doing share buybacks. Then one by one, they started selling off all the valuable subsidiaries, like Christmas Tree Farms and World Market. When you look at the properties that were sold, the same people that bankrupted Toys R Us by selling their properties and leasing them back at inflated rates somehow were there. KKR, Bain Capital, Blue Owl, and Oak Street, which have connections to the Council for Foreign Relations and Sigma Kappa for some reason. At this point, all the cash is gone, all the properties are gone, and it's being saddled with more and more debt. Similar to Toys R Us, where they pulled out $5 billion worth of bonds that they never had to pay back in full. All the way back in 2014, Bed Bath & Beyond took out billions of dollars worth of bonds. So now saddled with debt, the company needed money to be able to fill their shelves for Christmas. And what did? They got a loan from JP Morgan. And part of that loan, that $500 million ABL loan, was a lien on the company and the ability to do cash sweeps whenever JP Morgan wanted. This prevented Bed Bath & Beyond from being able to fill their shelves 2 years in a row. This is when Ryan Cohen comes to the scene to try and unlock the value and save the company.
What value is there to unlock, though? Fenikagami says, how does this seem more complicated and harder to understand than real financial fraud? Because they have to manufacture it. It doesn't have to be internally consistent.
Bought 10% of the shares and wrote a letter to the board. The executives of a company have a fiduciary duty to the shareholders. They're not supposed to promote their own interests, but the interests of the shareholders. And so defending their position on the board at the expense of the company is illegal. Ryan Cohen at that point had 9.6% of the company. This was in March of 2022, when Bed Bath & Beyond had no money, completely saddled with debt, and saw Ryan Cohen with the intention to purchase Bye Bye Baby, which would have unlocked value for shareholders And what
They
Mark
did sell Bye Bye Baby. They got like $15 million for the brand.
Triton did was he did $40 million
And the company that bought the brand is struggling. They had to close some of their stores already, so apparently the brand wasn't that valuable.
worth of share buybacks to push Ryan Cohen past 10% so that he'd be an insider, so that he couldn't make an offer on the company. The share price went up due to the share buybacks, and Ryan Cohen decided to take an alternate route to pursue Bed Bath & Beyond, which was to make an offer on the company. So he sold his position so that he would no longer be an insider. This was Ryan Cohen's only way forward with Bed Bath & Beyond. However, ironically, he was accused of a pump and dump. Meanwhile,
Yeah, he dumped on you guys. You're defending a guy who fucked you over.
there's a real person doing a pump and dump who is Jake Friedman. He bought, right before the run-up, a bigger position than Ryan Cohen and sold at the top. Not only that, but wrote a paper with his university in connection with Credit Suisse about how to bet against a company holding the bonds hostage and to guarantee that you'd make money. So he bought at the bottom, shorted from the top, but not only that, bought insurance or total return swaps against the bonds. Meanwhile, holding the bonds to be able to veto anything that would save the company. Jake Friedman made over $100 million just on the run-up, but it's very possible that he made a lot more than that betting against the company. So there's two main characters, Ryan Cohen betting for the company and the shareholders, and Jake Friedman betting against the company and trying to take the company into bankruptcy. Ryan Cohen around this time made an offer to buy Bye Bye Baby. Meanwhile, the law firm...
Did he? I don't think that ever happened.
Clearly Gottlieb comes to the scene to suggest a bond swap with convertible bonds that after a triggering event could be turned into shares. This is very dilutive. This deal was resisted and finally denied in the beginning of 2023. At that same time, mysteriously, the stock starts
Did Bed Bath even have large short positions? There was a time when there were a decent amount because it was pretty clear the company was failing, but the cost to borrow, especially near the end when the writing on the wall was so high, it would have been really hard to make a profit on it just because it was so obvious. When a company becomes obvious that it's going to become bankrupt, the interest that people will charge you to borrow shares to short goes up because they're aware, that it's a good deal for you to short it because it's probably going to go down. So they'll charge you more interest, right? So your margins get smaller when that happens to the point where it might not even be profitable and worth the time. So not as much as you would think near the end, but there was a time when there were short positions on it because, of course there were, the company was doing poorly. But there is sort of a place where it crosses and it no longer becomes worthwhile because it's so obvious to the market that people don't want to lend you shares for a low enough percentage rate. Lennon Cat says, this reminds me a lot of when Steve Bannon raised a bunch of funds from Trump supporters to build the wall, embezzled that money, and then was pardoned by Trump, but supporters still love him. These people get screwed over and still can't point the finger at the person who hurt them. Admitting you've been wronged is really hard, apparently, for some people. Or rather, admitting they were wrong is very difficult.
Trading on the Austrian exchange. And
Are they
millions...
still worshipping RC? These people are. There have been more that have disconnected a little bit and started to criticize him more since his recent round of dilution, where he sold... forget exactly how many. It might have been like 200 million shares into the market, thus lowering the price. Which, again, they're upping the amount of cash on hand GameStop has at the expense of the investors.
And millions per day of fails to deliver start showing up in the stock, which is direct evidence of naked short selling. Though the convertible bonds were rejected, it didn't stop B. Riley and Hudson Bay from coming in and doing preferred A shares, which do the same thing, dilute the company. Hudson Bay sold as many shares as they could, as fast as they could, even though they weren't supposed to go past 10% ownership, which would be a 16B violation. I think that's because they had already sold them. They were already fails to deliver from long before, where they sold it at a lot higher price. The new CEO, Sue Gov, then does a public interview saying that she has a plan to save the company, to reduce the footprint, and shed toxic debt. All that needed to happen...
Yeah, she was wrong. She was wrong.
...was a reverse split needed to be approved, but once the vote was collected, they voluntarily went into bankruptcy anyway. We saw people from B. Riley, who were bondholders, trying to block any sort of sale that would save the company. Through just short selling alone, and the fails to deliver, tens of billions of dollars of value was taken from the company. It's very likely that much more than that in total return swaps was also taken from the company, and those bets are still out there. The story's not over, though. Recently, they just found fraud on the board, and they're starting to untangle this mess. All the transactions up to 90 days before the bankruptcy can be clawed back, and we'll see what happens. I think things will get very interesting.
Oh, Michael. So yeah, he's into conspiracy stuff now, like hardcore. He's also getting into trouble with a guy for calling him a pedophile, which, you know, isn't like a great thing to do.
Recently, Dirtivator noticed something about the GameStop website. Oops. It might seem kind of odd, but when you look at when it happened, it's almost exactly 2 years ago.
Fenekagami says, I've got it. They've heard about imaginary numbers, and that's where they think their profits are, so they're making up bullshit to manifest the imaginary profits with imaginary numbers.
Not to get conspiratorial or anything, but
We're almost a year from when the shares were canceled, by the way. Almost exactly. I want to say it was like the end of September last year. Maybe it was the end of November. Either way, we're real close to a year since the shares were canceled. And it was already clear that it was going to happen months before that. So we're over a year of this being so over. And yet here we are.
someone else or some other group that likes their 2-year delta. So let's see how well it actually holds up.
Are we going to mark the day? I don't know what we could possibly do. Polte's doing another event, not that day, but I'm sure whatever Polte's next event is will probably be the next meme stock thing. I think it's in December, unless something crazy happens or if things get weirder, but like less and less stuff happens with this. It's interesting to see these people still up to this a year later, but
when you look at July 2022, right before that you have, I'm sick of seeing failed executives make millions in risk-free compensation while shareholders are left holding the bag. And then in general, when an executive gets paid millions of dollars and leaves a company in shambles, they should be forced to return the money. Almost 2 years later, look what we find. The board at Bed Bath & Beyond is being sued for their negligence and their breach
to be clear, Ryan Cohen is also being sued
of fiduciary duty in doing their share buybacks. And enough money is being clawed back that would be able to cover all the remaining debt. There's $2.5 billion worth of clawbacks. They might not have all that money there, but there's only $1.6 billion between the shareholders and the waterfall distribution of those funds. This is just one of many clawbacks, but it's encouraging to think that just this clawback alone would be enough where shareholders would be preserved. So what else is in the 2-year delta? We have executives paying back.
The whole 1 year, 2 year deltas thing is something stolen directly from the QAnon community, by the way. This was something they would do in their conspiratorial baking, where they would look at Q posts from a year ago on that same day, or 2 years ago on that same day, or 3 years ago. They would call this 1 year deltas, 2 year deltas, 3 year deltas. He's literally taking vocabulary directly from the QAnon community.
Back what they took from the company in compensation. And then you have July 11th, right when whoops happens, it says that Left 4 Dead retailer just launched something new. In this idea of a 2-year delta, that's quite an exciting thing. I've long theorized that
Was that when they launched their NFT marketplace that failed?
if anyone could take on Amazon, it would be a combination of Elon Musk and Ryan Cohen. And it seems that there's a little bit of back and forth going on Twitter. The Dingleberries. Not sure what this means. I'll leave it to other people speculating. But I'm so excited, I just figured I'd put this out right now instead of waiting. I'm sure other people will solve the puzzle pretty quickly. The people who work hardest usually complain the least. We haven't seen Ryan Cohen complaining. We haven't seen Larry Chang. We haven't seen a lot of people that have been working really hard complaining. Unless you sweat
Famously, billionaires work the hardest of us all.
on the job, you don't know hard work. I have much respect for everyone working on the ground in our stores. The best time to be alive in human history is now. That was yesterday, 1 year ago today.
Bill and Ted also said that in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. The best time to be is now. Wait, no. The best place to be is here. The best time to be is now.
That's pretty
Hey,
exciting.
Carpcosian.
Alpha Omega actually pointed out something else that happened that same day at 7:41 p.m. nonetheless, which was Michael Burry saying someone was going on about Christmas in July. Hope you enjoyed it. So that's also a 2-year delta. He was involved with the first part of the GameStop squeeze in 2021, and he was there for 2008, so it wouldn't be a shocker if he knew what was going on now. The next tweet we have is, ask not what your company can do for you, ask what you can do for your company. So I think that's where we're at. What can we do for our company? I guess we should figure that out. Anyway, the best time to be alive in human history is now.
Oh, Michael. So yeah, he continues to be a conspiracy theorist. What do you know? Let's see what's next. Oh, here's Michael losing money on his options after, I think this is after Ryan Cohen started doing more dilution after the Q2 release of their financial information. So Michael got fucked on his calls thanks to Ryan Cohen.
So how the fuck are we doing tonight, my man?
My options love the dilution that's happening.
Well, oh yeah, you were playing options this week. See, I told you, man. Monday, I said, look, something doesn't feel right to me, man. Like I was looking at things, I was looking at the price, and you know what's funny, Michael, is Monday night show when we were actually looking at the charts on our way out.
Did Michael lose the job of hosting the PP show on off nights? I don't know. I know he was spouting off like conspiratorial stuff that was bad enough that PP deleted one of the streams. So yeah, it's not great.
I was sitting there thinking, and I wasn't really thinking dilution was really going to happen at all, right? Like an extra 20 million. Like I was like, it's highly unlikely that we see anything like that. But one thing caught my mind at the end of that show when we were discussing on Monday, and what I was looking at was how GameStop had been kind of green this entire time throughout the entire week, right? And what Biggie says is typically what you see is the company will be, you'll have a bunch of green days before they tend to drop an ATM. Now, again, it was just coincidental maybe that they, happened to drop this ATM right around earnings, but I don't know, man. If you ask me, it does kind of seem like Ryan Cohen is trying to stack as much capital on hand. But Michael, I'm sorry to hear about those options, man. What options were you playing this week?
I mean, I had lots of different ones, but I like set it up. I got in the money purposely just because I didn't have I didn't have enough to buy like a ton of shares or anything.
Right.
So I just was like, well, I'll be safe. I'll get in the money that way if earnings aren't that good. I knew they were going to be positive, right?
Right.
Just the interest on their cash was going to be a lot. So I wasn't like,
Yeah, so far right now, GameStop isn't making money on their operations. They're making money on treasury bills they bought into. Well, that's great.
I was kind of factoring in, like, I was like, well, worst case scenario goes down 2 or 3%, whatever. So it was like a calculated risk. And then also there's a dilution. I was like, that wasn't
Nobody
at all
saw
on
it
my
coming.
radar.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. Yeah, go ahead.
I trust Ryan Cohen with my whole heart, but
I do
favor I just would really like to ask is an update on how much the dilution is done. Like any sort of like tweet saying, hey, we're at 80%. That'd be great. You don't have to say
RC didn't fuck any of them over. They had plenty of time to exit. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get it. Ryan Cohen is taking advantage of the very foolish amongst these people, but I get what you're saying. It is still on them as they are adults. But he's taking advantage of some very self-deluded people. Sassy P, holy crap, with a $99.99 super chat says buying some Hannah shares. Thank you so much, Sassy P. I appreciate it. That's a great super chat. That's so generous of you. I will make sure to add that to the costume month total before tomorrow's stream. MH Darkbeast says, here you go, fitting for today. Oh boy, what's this link gonna be?
Flash kids!
Oh! Real quick, Skifazoa says the risk he took was calculated, but man, is he bad at math.
Give us back the stock market, you disgusting bug of people.
Hold! Hold! I will hold my 2 game stonks and buy a Scalper's Market Xbox! Hold! I will prove to my wife I understand the stock market, and she will leave her boyfriend! Hold! Hey! Which of you hilarious smooth brains set your limit cells to $420.69? I am sorry, brother! I did it for the meme! It was very funny! I am also sorry, but I don't know how to undo it! To do it on the app, you just go to sell, then stock sell limit, then input a new one. But brother, I am very afraid to hit the sell button! When do I short squeeze his balls? You need to tell me when to squeeze! That is not how that works! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna squeeze the short! What? It's working! The hedge fund is in pain!
Jesus Christ, that was something. I don't know if it was something good, but it was something. Green guy with a $5 tip says, buying the dip. Thank you.
Say, you just tweet something if it's 80%. That way we know. Because
it's going to be done real quick, man. I mean, they did a 75 million ATM offering. I remember when we were ripping, and
ATMs at the market, and at the market offering is when they basically sell into the public market shares.
It was complete in a week and a half. I mean, this is like a third of that essentially. So if I had to guess, you know, I would probably say that it's probably going to be that 20 million is probably going to be done by probably this Friday, if I had to assume, if not by midweek next week. But it's going to be quick, man. 20 million.
There's like a huge difference between this Friday and midweek next week. So like that's like,
yeah.
I mean, part of me is like, well, I really think that, you know, the exit hearing was supposed to be on the 2nd. Okay, so now it's on whatever the 26th. That could be moved up. So I'm really confident my Bed Bath shares are coming back. But like, man, if we could get some guidance on like how much of that dilution is done, that'd be great.
Yeah, those options will fuck you, man. And you know what's funny is, and I want to take a look at it too. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the rest of the fellows here. You know, one thing I was looking at too today, I was looking at Unusual Whales right before the show, and I wasn't aware that there was $1 million bet being placed down on the 20s for GameStop into January. So again, I don't know, maybe this could be in fact DFE. Maybe this is just kind of like a rogue whale as well. But I will say, man, you know, that IV definitely got crushed. You know, after earnings, and now it looks like, you know, the call option buying is back. I'm just playing the shares, man. For now, shares. I mean, you know, again, it's very easy to get burned on these fucking options, man. And
the smartest thing PP ever says is to not touch options. He is correct. That's his broken clock thing, is when he says don't do options. Don't do options. Jesus, I need a hair mask. I have some. Maybe tonight after stream I'll do one. I'm looking a little crispy.
Stop speaking this way and stop expecting shit, bro. Just go in there and show up and get what you give. You know, whatever you give the stock, it's going to give you back. You give it positive vibes, it's going to give positive vibes back. I promise, man. Richard, I'm tired of you being fake with your hair. This whole, I'm not going to cut my hair till Moass. Well, guess what, kid? You're in Moass right now and you can't even see it. But do me a favor.
Wait, we're in Moass?
You get a tattoo, bro. Okay? Real men, real times, support their investment. Here we go. I'm right here, babe. I'm right here for you.
Oh, he's showing his tattoo like it's impressive. Oh, okay. Toriador says whales in terms of video game spender, stream spender, or scam spender always make me think these people are actually being harpooned and harvested for their delicious, delicious ambergris. Ambergris used for perfume. I don't think you eat it.
I'll tell you what, I'll cover up my tattoo when I lose all my money on GameStop. And I'll put a big-ass one that says, I'll put your face on it, Richard.
Expected, honestly.
You see, when it comes to my investment for GameStop, I love it. And it loves me too. But then I repeat back, I love you most. Doesn't matter what GameStop does. Doesn't matter what they do, what they announce, nothing. It's on me, babe. It's on my body. I love it the most. I'm crazy.
Oh my fucking god! Okay, I gotta go back and listen to that again, because what the fuck?
You see, when it comes to my investment for GameStop, I love it. And it loves me too. But then I repeat back, I love you most. Doesn't matter what GameStop does. Doesn't matter what they do, what they announce, nothing. It's on me, babe. It's on my body. I love it the most. I'm crazy.
That's the perfect cutoff, too, right in the middle. That's good shit. Separate writer 4465 who cut that. Perfect. You're excellent. I hope you know I appreciate you. Oh, here's where he announced he was gonna get a tattoo.
No longer,
And be Volpine.
this is no longer a secret, okay? You guys think I'm joking with you. I'm going to get a tattoo of GameStop on my body on Wednesday night. So it's already in the works. It's done. I'm getting it. I want it. And it's something I've wanted for years, and I'm going to do it. So I already have a viewer of the channel who's my right-hand man. He's been watching me for 4 years. That guy right there, inking all day, is going to do it. So I'm going to drive out to his shop, his private shop. We're going to do it. I'm getting the tattoo. Why? It's just a part of my life, guys. This is a chapter of my life. I've seen people get tattoos of bullshit. The GameStop's not bullshit to me. It's a fabric of what I am, and I love it. So I'm going to wear it.
It's the fabric of what he is.
And I'm going to wear that logo forever.
Is this the most intense sunk cost, like, delusion of all time?
So you guys can know what I'm doing. Don't.
GamerG, thanks for a 3-stream streak, says, what the bankruptcy did I arrive at stream to?
You guys, look at this. Look at this shit. No, Marantz. No. Really? Hey, knee sack. Grab your sack. Do me a favor and do that. It's my body. I do what I want. You bitches have, like, Raider tattoos, cowboy tattoos. You probably have little, I don't know, SpongeBob bullshit on your arms. No, I'm getting GameStop. I am GameStop, and that's what I'm going to do from now on, period. And if the name changes, if everything, don't worry. This was a moment in my life, and I'm proud to do it. So now you know what I'm doing. No, it's not going to be my forehead, bro. Thanks to Inking All Day helping me out. I pray they don't work out the same when our women's names. Okay, yeah, let me tell you, Jordan.
Oh, boy. Oh, here's an old clip of Marantz that turned out to be, a little prophetic, I guess.
What is it going to take for you guys to sell your shares? It's a brick and mortar store, for fuck's sakes. Ben Triffin, I guess you changed your picture just to go ahead and try to troll chats and channels. What's it going to take for me to sell my shares? No, that's a very good question, man. Ben, you got me here. This is a hard one for me to answer. Well, a couple things would have to happen. The first thing to get.
Not me, thanks. I've been mostly ignoring you, but are you okay? Are you good on YouTube? You've been saying just truly out there shit.
I'm going to sell my shares.
And also maybe take the horniness from, like, 11 to, like, 5. I won't tell you to take it to 0, but you gotta half it.
One, you'd have to kidnap all my kids and my wife. You'd have to threaten to just pour gasoline and set fire on them. And even that I might not sell. You'd have to cut off my manhood, but then I tell you I already have 5 children, so it's really not going to matter. Cut off
Just 5 kids?
my arms and feet, but it's okay because I can still talk. You'd have to drag me through the streets butt-ass naked in front of everyone and then say, this is Marantz Rants, and he's got nothing to show for himself. And then I'd be like, joke's on you. I still have GameStop shares. I mean, you could do pretty much anything to me and embarrass me, and I still wouldn't sell my fucking shares. So it's not ever going to fucking happen, you punk-ass son of a bitch. Let me tell you the last time I ever thought about selling my shares. Never. And when am I wrong in life? The last time I was wrong was when I thought I was wrong. So right now, we're just going to agree that I'm right. And if I agreed with you that it's just a brick and mortar company, then we'd both be wrong, so I won't be doing that. GameStop's something else. You just showed up to the party. You showed up to the dance. But you want to ask me when I'm going to sell my shares? How about I sell my shares when you start selling your ass on the street? Because you don't have enough money to eat. You can't make it past inflation? I'd gladly do it. I would sell my house, my cars, everything that I own before I ever sold one share of GameStop. Because I know the value of what it is
to me. I don't need to live this lifestyle and then sell my shares and kick my own ass moving forward in about 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years. And when I see this company thrive and survive and just keep being the juggernaut that it is. But you want to come in here and say, oh, Marantz, when are you going to sell? It's brick and mortar. I don't know, buddy. When are you going to read a fucking book or some headlines that tell you that it's not? Or that they hired 350 professionals last year? Or that they have a new executive team? That they just voted in again on this executive board? When are you going to tell yourself that GameStop has 2 new fulfillment centers? That they beat out Ernie?
I think they got rid of one of those fulfillment centers since this. I could be wrong, but I thought they did. Lennon Cat says, this feels so much like they have built a cult around GameStop shares. Yeah, they basically have. Like, I'm not underselling that. It's very culty. The mentality around this for the most extreme members is like a cult.
Again, that GameStop's projecting NFT marketplace. They have the wallet right in front of you.
The NFT marketplace, I don't know if it's still around. Did that close, or is it just basically persona non grata? It doesn't matter. Their wallet shut down for sure. Benekagami says, seriously, people get tattoos of political beliefs, childhood memories, their children, their partners, their parents, their religion, anime they love, favorite animals, their pets. But stock investments? Seriously, how could you be so attached to an investment that you'll scar your body with it? Yeah, I don't get it.
Everything tells you, fuck you, pay me, but you want to ask me, when are we going to agree to sell something that doesn't even fucking exist? What doesn't exist? My shares? Probably not. No, what doesn't exist is for it to be called a brick and mortar company.
I understand what you're saying, Spokane Dog Man, and believe it or not, I have avoided some videos specifically.
How about you? Do people say that you're good looking? That you got a lot of good future going for you? They say you're a good person? Probably not, because you don't have anything going for you, because you don't have the stock, because you want to be resentful of things. You want to ask the what ifs, the whys. You want to do all that shit. Well, I'll tell you, what if? What if you ever woke up tomorrow and you got positive about your life? How about the whys? Why don't you have anything to live for? Like I do, like we do. I'll tell you what. I'll calm down a little bit more when you figure out what the fuck you're doing with your life. When you can read, when you can write, and you can comprehend what I'm telling you right now. It's GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I'll see you around, millionaires. Get it right.
That was about a question about a stock. Can you imagine if you're a member of his family and you get into like an actual argument with this guy? Must be a fucking scary, scary situation. Geek Wandering, thanks for following. Tell me this guy doesn't have kids. He has 5 kids. 5 kids. I got 5 kids to feed. Like the taxi driver from Total Recall, except he was lying. Spoilers for Total Recall. Here's someone who actually went on and talked to Marantz.
Today, the stock's at $23. How am I screwed? What's going on here? Did I miss something?
What's your average share price though?
Me personally, $25.
Okay, so you're in a net negative.
Yeah, most people are. Have you seen the economy?
We're talking about the market, not the economy. I understand things are expensive and income differences between the low and the high is ridiculous, but we're talking about the stock market, Marantz. The market has hit all-time highs multiple times this year. So I think this is a skill issue and you're just in the wrong stock.
What?
So I think Total Recall was realer in his head.
Dude.
Like,
okay,
in fairness, I don't like having a definitive answer because that's part of the point. But if I had to pick, in his head.
What's the growth catalyst from now to 5 years?
You're good, Spokane Dog Man. I want to hear feedback from people.
I
know this is marginal. I thought about it. I took time trying to figure out what videos I felt were appropriate not to show of him today. Like, yeah, believe me, I know.
No,
There's not.
I'm trying to let me explain my philosophy here. I'm trying to cover stuff where he's talking about the stock. I'm not trying to comment on him as a human being outside of, wow, he's obsessed with this stock. That's my intent. It's gonna cross over with other things, but I'm trying to keep it on, like, look how this has affected his life. I'm not trying to turn this into a bully thing. I never would want to do that. Like, this guy needs help.
Could be another.
But I also don't think it helps to ignore this kind of thing, because it's a phenomenon that is not only in Marantz. There's tons of people. Marantz has followers. PP has followers who are in the same situation.
They're Roaring Kitty pump and dump. So
You think it's a
how
Roaring
else are they
Kitty
getting more
pump
money?
and dump? Roaring Kitty has nothing to do with it.
No, that was why else would it go up to $40 or $60 that one night?
Maybe because they knew it was going there. You think Roaring Kitty
It was
pumped it?
Roaring Kitty sold out of GameStop. He's in Chewy now. That dog company.
You think Roaring Kitty sold out of GameStop?
He did, yes.
Without proof,
Is
you're
it-
going to say this shit. This is the...
He had $200 million in GameStop, and then he sold it and put $200 million into Chewy, which he then also sold.
script they give you?
I think that's fair.
What discords do you hang out in? Where do you come from? Not once in a while. Religiously. That's how you know what the hell I'm got going on. Let me tell you something else, okay? You're completely wrong about Roaring Kitty. He didn't sell a single share. He doesn't have to.
You have proof?
He has millions of dollars. What the hell is he going to sell for?
Where do you think he got the millions of dollars? He got it from selling. That's where the money came from.
Because he knows that's gonna go down. It was a clear pump and dump.
What was? His cost average is $23 a share. What did
He
sell
sold.
for?
He sold his options and he bought Chewy. Where else would he have got that much money from?
He had millions right there sitting on the books. He had like
Where do you think he got the money from?
$6 million, and you're telling me you can't buy a position in Chewy on calls?
No,
$6 million?
it went down to like $200 million, and then he bought $200 million worth of Chewy.
Contracts for Chewy, not shares. It was contracts.
He sold those contracts.
It was
He
contracts.
sold those contracts.
Dude, at $14 he was buying contract. Are you kidding? He made a ton. The guy probably has. $1
We
million
saw his
right now.
positions. We
He
saw his
probably
positions.
has $1 billion. You have not seen his position. You haven't seen shit, kid.
They dropped
The only
down
time
to-
you
yeah,
ever
yes,
see
we
a
have.
position
He
is when you
posted
look
them in
over
the,
your shoulder and you see
the
Bubba,
Reddit server.
and you're like, I like it, Bubba. Keep going. That's the only position you ever see. You did not see any position.
Listen here, Pug. You got public dumped by the Roaring Kitty. We both saw Roaring Kitty buy Chewy with all of his money.
How?
GameStop has no catalyst. It's the truth. You're lying to people.
Okay, I am the catalyst. How about that? Do you have?
Okay,
a
so how are you
GameStop
gonna?
tattoo?
He is the catalyst.
Huh?
He is the one who knocks.
Do you have a GameStop tattoo?
No.
Yeah, I do. Do you? No, you don't. Okay, good.
He's bragging about his GameStop tattoo like it's a good thing.
I walk the streets and I give away free gifts from GameStop. Do you?
I saw that, and that was a respectable thing.
Oh,
but that doesn't mean that GameStop's a good company.
Oh, you're right. Maybe I'm just gonna make it great. Make GameStop great again. That's what I'm doing. That's what MAGA really stands for.
Let's move on to some other clips for now. We might have a few Marantz things late.
So your boy Mikey has lost a lot.
This is AMC. This is one of the AMC ones. This kid got fired from his job at a bank because he was looking at his GameStop, or rather his AMC stock, when he wasn't supposed to, on work computers. So now he just does this. AMC stock.
So your boy Mikey has lost a lot of money over the past 2 days. As I say in every video, investing in GME and AMC stock is extremely risky. And today I woke up with my call options down over 70%. So I was down pretty bad. I don't know if I have to even tell you guys what I did after that, but I'm gonna tell you guys either way. You know, I bought the dip. I bought more GameStop calls. I averaged down into more $23 calls. I did that while GameStop was trading at around $19.70, and I could lose every dime. You know, every time I bought call options, I know in my head that I could lose every freaking dime. But with what I believe is about to happen over the next couple of days, it is worth the risk. Before I do get into why I believe that though, make sure to go down and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, because I do update you guys on AMC and GME stock every single day.
He must have been doing it so much to get fired. Yeah, I can't even imagine. He also has a tendency to tell people he doesn't like that they're going to hell. I don't know if that translated into work, but he says it on stream pretty often.
So on earnings, GameStop dropped 10% from...
Oh, that's what a lot of this is, Freyline. It's really sad. It's conspiracy theory mixed with gambling addiction. It's like this terrible combo of things that just traps people in this stuff.
$24. And then in the morning today, it dropped even harder. At one point, it was down around 16%. It did hit a low of $19.31, and over 28 million shares were traded today. So we had a huge day of volume. The OBV, the on balance volume, is still high. You know, when we bring it up and we zoom out, guys, it's still at all-time highs. It's not going lower. People are accumulating the stock. So when I saw GameStop below $19.60, it did hurt me a little bit. It did hurt me because I was down like over $1,000 within 24 hours. But I did average down like crazy, and towards the end of the day, we did see the volume go even crazier, and GameStop ended the day at $20.64. That's a pretty decent gain, about a 5% gain, I believe, from 1930 to 2060. So that's there. And if we take a look at the history of GameStop, whenever there's a sharp decrease, there usually is a bounce back. Now, obviously, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell, or hold. But normally, when there's a sharp decrease, there's normally a bounce back. So just putting that out there. I do believe it is going to bounce back. I do have a bunch of money on the line. As for AMC, I'm still holding all my shares for AMC as well. AMC closed the day at $4.95 where it closed yesterday, and it didn't really move too much. In the morning it kind of dropped a little with GameStop to $4.71, but then it climbed back up to $4.95 at the end of the day. Only 7 million shares traded for AMC, and I do believe when GameStop starts to run, I do believe it's going to be GameStop first. AMC is going to follow. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, this is why you shouldn't compare AMC to GameStop. They're not the same stock. Obviously, they're not the same freaking stock. I understand that, guys. But if we just take a look at the history, from all-time lows, AMC is up approximately 100%. Its all-time low is $2.38, so it's up a little over 100% from all-time lows. From GameStop's 52-week low, it's also up about 100%, a little over 100%. It was $10 back here. Pretty similar. Am I right or am I freaking wrong? Is that not similar? So that's why at the end of the day, I still believe GameStop and AMC are trading similar. Now, Chewy stock was up over 8% today at $30.24. Everyone knows what Roaring Kitty tweeted the last time he tweeted a couple days ago. It just makes you think like...
Yeah, Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, deep fucking value, tweeted a picture. The picture from Toy Story 2, I want to say, where Andy is dropping Woody. It was that, but they replaced Woody's head with a dog, implying he was selling his Chewy shares.
Maybe Roaring Kitty knew there was going to be a crash today. Maybe he knew there was going to be a big drop on earnings. Today might just be the day he sold and bought GameStop at a discount. It's not guaranteed, obviously, but it's definitely a possibility. So this is my updated call positions. I always do post them on X.
Oh, and him tweeting did bump GameStop slightly, but every time he's done this, like we have the 2021 thing where, of course, the spike was very high. We have the chair leaning forward thing from earlier in the year that got a pump. This pump was even more pathetic, so it seems like every time Roaring Kitty tries to rile up the GameStop stock, he's getting diminishing returns, which is good, because fuck him.
If you haven't followed me there, make sure to go follow me. My username is Mikey's_money. I said when you have a gut feeling, stick to it. I'm holding the GME stock calls for MOAS, and I'm so happy I had the opportunity to buy some under $20. Let's go, GME and AMC to the moon. So this is my updated call positions on GME. This is all my calls. I now have over $2,400 loaded into GameStop calls, about $800 worth of calls expiring on October 18th, and $1,500 calls expiring on September 27th. So in 2 weeks, guys. Now, like I said, it is risky. I could lose every freaking dime, but I really do feel like in my gut that the third run is going to happen. Now, you guys do your own research before investing into any stock. I'm just here talking about what I'm doing with my money. And you guys know I had to buy the dip. You guys know
He placed these calls prior to the dilution. So yeah, he's fucked. He's fucked on these calls, probably.
I had to freaking buy the dip. So, the glass is always half full. You could look at it as negative or...
It's at $23 on the 24th. It's the 16th now. GameStop's at like 20 right now. Yeah, he got fucked on these.
Positive. I was pretty sad in the morning when I saw GameStop just crash even harder. But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. Screw it. GameStop under $20. Calls. That's what I freaking thought a couple seconds later, and that is what I did. I bought calls. I did make this post on X as well. I said GME stock has officially formed a bullish shark pattern. If anyone was waiting for a dip, this is it. I just bought $1,500 worth of $23 calls because YOLO, GME and AMC to the moon. So that was when I only had $1,500. When GameStop stayed trading at $19, I put in an extra $1,000. I was like, screw it. You know, I really just felt like this might be the last opportunity, the last call for call options. That's just it. That's what I was thinking. So here's a bullish pattern and a bearish pattern. As you guys see, GameStop almost formed this bullish shark to a T. You know, this is the...
I want to know where this kid's parents are, because I think he lives at home. Are his parents not concerned what he's doing with all his money?
Bullish shark here on the left. Now, if we take a look at the past month, you know, this is like the past 2-3 weeks.
Oh, YOLO is a big part of the language of the meme stock people and, you know, the super stonk people too in general.
The bullish shark has formed, and we already got to bounce back up towards the end of the day to $20.50. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues going into tomorrow. The volume has picked up like crazy, and I really do believe people are just going to start buying up GameStop stock, sending it higher and higher. I believe we're going to elevate higher than $24, which is why I loaded up into call options. I am so freaking ready for this MOAS, you guys don't understand. This is extremely risky because it can keep going down. You know, no one knows what the frick is going to happen. Stock could go up, down, no one knows. But no risk, no Ferrari. That is just the motto.
That's what they say, no risk, no Ferrari. Kagami says, people think that being attached to media thing is weird, but media can give a home to those who feel like they have none to make them feel seen. When Kentaro Miura died, many people felt they lost a friend. Before we had queer characters, we had Guts, a man born in death, whose very existence was a defiance of the natural order, whose whole life was spent being told he that God demands his death, that he is a sin, curse, and yet the struggles. How does a stock create that feeling? Was that anime? Everyone's inundating me with anime.
No risk, no Ferrari. You guys
I've told you, I'm not into anime. I'm into tokusatsu like a normal person.
Do what you want with your money. You already saw my position in calls. Around $2,500 in calls. YOLO. Freaking YOLO. This guy said, depending what it updates to, we retested the 200 and 100 moving day average and held, bounced back up, and closed above 21. Bullish to the tits. So AMC closed back at $4.95. Multiple analysts are saying AMC stock is looking bullish. As far as GameStop, Weeble says 100% sell. Sell, sell, sell. Makes you wonder, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a hedge fund. Maybe it's a hedge fund trying to get us to sell at $20 because they're screwed. These billionaire investors that are on the verge of going bankrupt are going to do anything that they possibly can to get us to sell. But I'm pretty sure they've come to the conclusion that we're not selling at these dirt cheap prices. At least the majority of us.
Will Kale says tokusatsu is basically live action anime. How dare you? Does this look like anime to you? Does this look like anime to you? This is clearly live action kaiju adventure. It's very different. It's very different. Look at how different it is.
So you paper hands, obviously the paper hands are gonna freaking sell. But
there's an Ultraman anime. Yeah, but I don't own that.
I don't think Roaring Kitty is done. I think he's just getting started.
Kagami says, I was using that anime as an example. I mean, your movies do the same for you. For me, it was a certain anime. I know. I was just giving you a hard time.
And, you know, just with that little tweet, we saw the momentum in GameStop.
This could look so young, it seems sleazy to rope him into this. Oh yeah, he was young enough that he couldn't have even been involved in the 2021 GameStop thing. He couldn't own stock because he was so young.
You know, I really do think Roaring Kitty is the MOAS catalyst for GameStop and AMC. It's not going to be no earnings call, that's for sure. We already freaking checked that off the list. Not gonna happen. And, you know, there was news of GameStop diluting on earnings. So, yeah, that did cause the price to tank a little. But how much money are they gonna raise? The good news is yet to come, guys. The good news is yet to come. And GameStop did report positive cash flow. So the GameStop business is profitable.
I think he's 20.
just running as a business without the $4 billion in cash. Guys, I think it is a huge opportunity. I think it's not every freaking day when the best investor is about to hit 1 million subscribers, you know, posting on X, making the stock market move like crazy. I think it is an opportunity and I am willing to take the risk, which is why I already dumped my money into calls. Calls. I mean, I'm addicted at this point. You know, I got my AMC shares on the side.
Oh, he said the quiet part out loud. Hydrate, hats off, and Black's Law Dictionary. Oh boy, let's do those one at a time. Hydrate. Witch hat. And a juggle, Jesus. Okay, witch hat, what do you want me to look up in the Black's Law Dictionary? Brain injured gamer. Standing, witch hat, and then juggle. Okay. Where's the seam? I found it. Witch hat. Now we gotta look up standing. Standing, one's place in the community and the estimation of others, his relative position in social, commercial, or moral relations, his repute, grade, or rank. See reputation, standing to sue doctrine, status. We did it. And for the last one.
But I feel like calls, a lot of money can be made, guys. This guy said it's official. At current price, GameStop GME is now more than 50% cash per share, profitable, and cash flow positive. So like I just said, GameStop is confirmed to be cash flow positive. The cash is freaking flowing.
They're not cash flow positive based on their actual company. They're making money off of T-bills currently. And to be clear, pretty sure interest rates are going to be cut soon, so those T-bills aren't going to be paying off as well.
Guys, yeah, it dropped. A lot of people are crying about it. You know, oh my god, GameStop down 15%. What the frick are we gonna do? Guys, what has been the motto on my freaking channel this whole time, ever since I started from day one? It's buy the dip. Buy the freaking dip. Now, you guys do whatever you want, obviously, but that's my motto. I'm gonna stick to it. Buying the freaking dip. That is all I gotta say. Are you gonna buy the dip, or are you just gonna let the opportunities pass by? GameStop dipped yet again below $20, and I saw it as an opportunity, so I took it. Even though I was hurting inside, you know, I lost lots of money. I'm still with you guys though. And I bought the freaking dip. I did make this last post. I said, look at Roaring Kitty's last tweet. I would not doubt if he sells all the Chewy stock he purchased and puts it all into GME stock under $20. This would be the best play of all time. I really do think when Roaring Kitty comes out with his portfolio update, everything's going to be all in GameStop once again. It's just Roaring Kitty like buying the dip, buying more GameStop at a discount. That is my prediction. Roaring Kitty is now 998,000 subscribers. Just 2,000 subscribers less.
What's DFV been up to lately? He tweeted like sometime in the last week, one image, but that's it.
Than 2,000 subscribers away from 1 million. I really do believe he is going to come back to YouTube and set up a live stream when he hits 1 million subscribers. I mean, I've been saying it on my channel, and you know, the last time he went live, it wasn't good for GameStop. But what would be good for GameStop is if Roaring Kitty comes out and gives us his portfolio update, and he bought more. If he bought more GameStop, that's just gonna be the nail in the coffin for all hedge funds.
Oh, sorry, Altered Undying. Altered Undying said, are you excited for the Uzumaki anime? It actually looks good, which has me excited and scared. Actually, yes. Anime jokes aside, I'm a big fan of Junji Ito, and this anime looks like its style is directly trying to copy the style of the manga, so I'm very excited for that.
About 2 videos, I did decode the Roaring Kitty livestream thumbnail. On the top right of the thumbnail, it says, I'll wager with you, I'll make you a bet. That line is from the movie The Babadook on Netflix, and it goes on to say,
The Babadook on Netflix. The Gen Z brain rot. Netflix didn't make The Babadook.
Hey, I'll wager with you, I'll make you a bet. The more you deny me, the stronger I get. He is talking to hedge funds. He is talking to billionaire shorts that are short on GameStop, that are short on...
Commit to the bit, you're right. Everything anime is always bad. I am truly a one-dimensional character for your entertainment. I did it. I did the meme. I hate anime.
On AMC, that are short on stocks that retail investors invested. He's basically telling them, you know, the more that they try to deny him, the more that they look at him as a joke, the more that they laugh at him, the stronger he's gonna get. He's about to freaking hit 1 million subscribers. I'm pretty sure all 1 million subscribers have more than likely invested into GameStop at one point in their life. I mean, he is building a freaking cult at this point, and I am all in on it. I am all in on it. That is all I gotta say. But that is gonna do it for this video. I hope you
They're
guys...
just saying the quiet part out loud often these days, aren't they? Trying to lampshade it. Nope. Just makes it worse.
Enjoyed. If you did make it to the end of the video and you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck are you guys doing? Make sure to go down and subscribe. Like I said, your boy Mikey has lost a lot of money just in the past day off the GameStop calls. I did take a loss of around $700 on the $23 calls.
This kid, this poor kid getting sucked into all this. Imagine being like 20 and you lose $700. If I lost $700 today, I'd be like, oh fuck, that's really not good. There's some bills I'm not gonna get to pay this month. Lose $700. Ugh, I hope this kid gets help. I hope his parents help him or something. Because this is bad and this is just gonna get worse.
Expiring on September 20th. I did take my losses on those and I dumped all the rest of the cash into $23 calls expiring in October. And I added some. I averaged even more into the GameStop calls because that's how confident I am. I averaged basically an extra $2,000 all into GameStop calls.
Yeah, I like Spice and Wolf. It's good.
Extremely risky, but that just shows you guys how much that I personally believe that this third run is going to happen. I do put my money where my mouth is, and I could be wrong. I could be freaking wrong, guys. You know, I was wrong about earnings. It dumped. We got rug pulled. It was freaking terrible. And I lost a lot of money. But I bought the dip. I bought the freaking dip. That is all there is to it. But I will keep you guys updated on what happens with AMC and GME stocks.
Every point has answers just to buy more. It's the gambler's fallacy.
So make sure to stay tuned on my channel. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. As y'all know, I'm buying the dip.
Here we go. Come on.
He normally was posting every day, and then he took like 4 days off after that video. He did post 20 hours ago. I'm not going to watch that right now, but I don't know if he wasn't doing very well after the Dilution kind of made his calls obviously a bad idea. I mean, I think they were a bad idea from the get-go, but, you know, obvious even to him. This is an MMTLP investor. I don't think we've gone in depth into this. All you need to know, it's another meme stock. It's another meme stock that didn't go well for these people. They got, I don't know. They put a bunch of money into this and it didn't work out because it was obvious it wasn't going to work out. And they were buying in based on rumors and nonsense spread by other meme stock people. So, here's a guy.
But I'm going to share now in detail my experiences up until a certain point where I had to back off. And I know some people in this space think I might be referring to when the cops were at my house. No. There was more after that. Opinion, be a fucking human about it. You want to be a social media fucking cockroach? And I'm going to call him out, you little bitch bull. You fucking cunt rag.
Oh.
You're probably...
Oh, is this the guy that stalked the guy from FINRA? Okay.
The kind of guy that wouldn't fuck with neo-Nazis, but you would spit on someone who was in the fucking camp, aren't you? You're that guy. You're that fucking guy who sees the homeless guy on the corner, gives him $1 and fucking says, that's what you get, just $1, you fuck, because you don't want to work hard enough. But you don't know his situation. Okay? You know exact fucking coleslaw eating piece of shit motherfucker.
Eating coleslaw is an insult now? I don't like coleslaw either, but... Jason Proxy says, not really a meme stock, but have you seen the TikTok check fraud glitch? As a species, we're doomed. Yeah, there was a thing going around where people on TikTok were telling people they'd unlocked a free money glitch. I'll explain this to you, and you'll immediately understand why this is a bad idea. They wrote a check to themselves for large amounts of money, would use the app through Chase to take a picture of the check and cash it digitally. They didn't have the money in their account, but basically the way that Chase check cashing works is they will put the money in your account, assuming that the check is good, or it actually clears. So people would go to the ATM and pull out money that they wrote a check to themselves to get, that they didn't have the money to back up. Now, they called this a free money glitch. You might know it as check fraud. That's just fraud. That's just literal fraud. It's not a trick. I don't know why anyone would think that was a trick. It's just fraud. You can't just get free money. That's not how anything works. So some people got real fucked over that, because, I don't know, they didn't think it through.
You 30-year-old little baby pissing and shitting in your fucking adult diapers. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't give a shit where I am in my fucking life. I got more respect for the fucking shirt I'm wearing, the watch, which, oh yeah, I could see already you're conjuring in your mind to fucking make fun of whatever it is that I have. And my wedding ring that I would go toe-to-toe, take them off first, roll my sleeves up, and beat the living fuck out of you. Because you're a fucking predator. Piece of shit. Oh, he made a bad play, you fucking moron. All right. Did I make a bad play in the sense that the CEOs are the CEOs of a company that, or did I make answer my question that I fucking gave you in a fucking DM, and then you wanted to push it out on social media so everybody else could fucking read it, you prick. I was being respectful. But you couldn't answer that motherfucking question. Instead, you skate around everything and you just piss on people. Bull the Butcher. Fuck you. All right? And it's recorded. The only thing I'm really disappointed, that space with Mark Faulkner, I met him. I think, why would I get fucking followed by a patrol car to a specific town through what had to be 2 towns until I got on a fucking highway?
That glorious bastard, thanks for following.
And you're damn fucking right, I said market maker of for GTS. Now, Jericho, you know, my anger and frustration with a particular attorney, even you, motherfucker! This is the last time I'm wasting any fucking energy. Just so you all know, after today, after this space, I appreciate you all. I really do. You came to listen. It's entertainment, isn't it? Isn't it, Jericho? I am just suggesting to all of you to take into consideration to never waste a single ounce of energy on any of those motherfuckers again. Because you know what? As someone so eloquently says, we're going to be so fucking rich. Are you yet? You're not yet, are you? How's that side hustle fucking business doing? Are you fucking rich now? Oh, no, wait a minute. We're going to be. Oh, that's right. It's not, I'm fucking rich. It's, we're going to be. That's all I fucking hear from you. And all your fucking posse. Posse pussies.
Guy's away with words.
The other reason why I'm fired up.
Are we rich yet? The real riches were the friends we made along the way.
Is because of one of my fucking rabbit holes, right? So right now, I'm just being honest with you. I'm a little frustrated by all the fucking rabbit holes, because then you find something else, and you find something else, and you're thinking to yourself,
the pussy posse. Do we need to pull up the Leonardo DiCaprio video again? Do we need to pull up the Leo Stalker video?
You know what? This fucking world is so Whatever. If there wasn't a problem, why are we still here 2 years later? If you don't want to hear my fucking phone calls anymore, if you don't want to get my fucking emails, if you want to stop at the goddamn FOIAs, and you know we're wrong, then work with us to get the fucking proof to show me that I'm a fucking idiot, and I'll go calmly into the night with my fucking tail between my legs. But until then, fuck you. You cum guzzling fucking slut queen, you probably suck your wife's dick.
Based? Go back just a little bit and hear that again. That was worth it.
Why are we still here?
Is this guy Dave's father?
2 years later. If you don't want to hear my fucking phone calls anymore, if you don't want to get my fucking emails, if you want to stop at the goddamn FOIAs, and you know we're wrong, then work with us to get the fucking proof to show me that I'm a fucking idiot, and I'll go calmly into the night with my fucking tail between my legs. But until then, fuck you. You cum guzzling fucking slut queen, you probably suck your wife's dick. We're gonna be so goddamn rich. The people who are fucking rich, they continue to fuck us. And I don't know about you, okay, bitch boy or Jericho. In my opinion, they're not fucking me. They're fucking my kids. They're fucking my family. If you're someone listening and you don't have a family, they're fucking you still. If you got a pet, they're fucking your cat. They're fucking your dog.
They're fucking... Hey, sir! They're fucking your cats. They're fucking your dogs. They're fucking the pets.
For me, the difference is between being able to buy a fucking brand new pair of shoes for my kids or having to go to the fucking consignment. When I had squad cars and a fucking ambulance in front of my house and I was outside for an hour and 45 goddamn minutes trying to really state the case that I'm not a harm or a threat to myself or others.
You thought they were eating the dogs? Some people like to play with their food. I'm not proud of that one.
Despite what
I'll have you know, I'm actually quite disappointed that that came out of my mouth.
This space call might sound,
but nonetheless, there it is.
Sound like at that time, where the officer told me you got one of two choices: the back of my car or the back of the ambulance. Now, I had more than enough information and proof to clear myself of having those two options. So I got the third option, which was a very nice and polite officer that said, "I'm sorry for wasting your time."
M. Scheffler says, I never thought I'd hear someone who makes CC seem calm in comparison, yet here we are. Yeah.
Sir, have a good day. But then, do you want to know that it happened on my property? It was a call to my fucking house where I live. But that police report has a shit.
Just came in, what's going on? This is an MMLP meme, or MMTLP meme stock investor. Raging.
Ton of identifying information redacted. Explain that to me. Oh, there's nothing going on here. You all made a bad fucking play. Oh, you all went down the wrong road. You should have, maybe you shouldn't go down the halls of Congress. Well, maybe you shouldn't have done, fuck you. We did whatever I decided to do, I did.
Is that a reference to January 6th thrown in there? Did anyone else catch that?
Right, wrong, or indifferent, we're still here.
What is MMTLP? Metamaterials? The specifics aren't super important. Basically, it was a company that was going private, but people found out they could buy shares in the company. Nothing would happen with these shares, but they got convinced by other meme stock people to buy into it before it went private because they were told there was a bunch of naked short selling on it, and the naked short sellers would have to buy the stock back before it went private. None of this was true, so a bunch of people just sunk their money into it and lost it all.
Go ahead.
You think I should get my 2 greatest hates for costume month choice? Last pick shows everything. Oh boy, let's see. Anime butterfly costume kimono. That's pretty good. I'll add that to my list. By the way, that poll will be up tomorrow. Sorry I didn't get it done today, but it will be tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday, so we'll pick my new costume.
Go ahead, anybody, go ahead. NASD, okay? The source of when FINRA shut down for a week. And by the way, yeah, he's in Boca. I also know his favorite drink. I also know his wife's fucking favorite dish from a certain favorite fucking restaurant. Who used to live in Great Falls, Virginia, and now they're in Florida. I know. I know perhaps where his kids work, where they go to school, who their godparents are.
You're tracking this person's kids? Oh boy.
Who some of their golf buddies are. Maybe I've done a little homework. But why does the same fucking CIO need to create an unlimited corporation in Canada at the same exact firm that's an international fucking lawyer firm, whatever, with the other CIOs of FINRA?
Oh, that's good. He seems like he's doing absolutely great. Oh, here's someone who is actually at least aware that the dilution is not make sense in the MOAS narrative.
What do you know? GME is doing another share offering. More dilution because the stock price is starting to run again. It's constant with AMC and GME. More share offerings, more fucking retail over because we own all the shares that shorts need. And guess what? Our CEOs, they got to help shorts out because they own the banks. They own every fucking thing. Ken Griffin is a cocksucker, and he always gets his way. More delusion, more delusion. Let's keep fucking retail over. Retail's stupid enough to keep buying up the shares. Guess what? Another couple of months, there's going to be another share offering because guess what? Well,
why are all these guys going unhinged? Because it's been a really long time, and the thing that they were expecting to happen still hasn't happened. Everyone has their breaking point.
All the goddamn shares, it's never going to fucking end. It's never gotten fucking squeezed. Ken Griffin's gonna keep manipulating the damn stocks. The retail's gonna keep getting fucked in the ass with a 2x4.
You want to use something with a wide base, a 2x4 is probably not a good idea. Not.
Thing is, Q3 is going to look amazing. You know why Q3 is going to be so good? Just so that we're clear, not only are they front loading for Q4 like they usually do, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, but Q3 this year is so different because Black Ops. Guys, Black Ops usually comes out, this is Call of Duty. Call of Duty usually comes out in November. This year, it's coming out October. I remember last year it was like November 10th, I believe. November 10th it came out, so all the sales of that game, which is one of the most popular games, they go ahead and they go towards, Q4. Not this time. They're in October 25th this year, so it's good.
As pointed out by the person who posted this, Black Ops is on Game Pass this year, day one. That's going to cut into sales. Also, as I've noted before, at this point in time, most game sales are digital. So just because that game's going to come out and undoubtedly sell quite well, that doesn't mean it's good for GameStop. Because GameStop is selling physical games, which again, is not a growth market.
Going to go into quarter three. Little things I pay attention to. But let's go ahead and see how it all works out. I'm excited, guys. What a great weekend in front of me. GameStop killed it this week. Does anybody know that? Did anybody wake up when it was at $19 and now it's at $24? I mean, goodness gracious. Yes. Okay, I'm excited. You know how excited I got? My tattoo's still there, guys. It's not fake. Oh, shit. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. You know where to find me? Marantz, YouTube, TikTok. I don't know. Maybe Sweet Dreams. Maybe that. I don't know. Maybe I'm in your head rent free. I don't know. But I should be. I should have a couch right there and just chilling with you and saying GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I've been telling you for 4 years, millionaires. Peace.
Switch games are still 50% physical, 50% digital. Yeah, that's the last, like, bastion of, like, solidly physical. Yeah.
All right, guys. So good morning. It's 3 a.m. The market's about to open. And I want to tell you guys a couple things. I know it's the final week of August, and traditionally the final week of August is green, which is fine on the markets. And this might be the last time people take profits. But come September, you're going to see a down market. Traditionally, the market trends downward in September. It happens to be the worst statistical month for the stock market. But the other crazy part about this is I've been reflecting back on the past year of the macro footprint, and then of course what's happening overseas versus what's happening with GameStop stateside, and how everyone feels like there's this swap, right? They can't prove the swap. It's a theory, and they come up with these ideas of the swap. I'm just going to tell you one thing. I've been alive for 41 years on this planet, and this past year I saw a financial institution go under, and nobody spoke on it. And I'm talking about Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse went under, and UBS bought up all the bad debt, and you're asking yourself, how is this even possible? How is it that these banks are allowed to crumble and no one really answer for it? This market's going to answer for it.
I would say that the people who lost their jobs answered for it.
The
investors in Credit Suisse answered for it. What do you mean?
Is going to answer for it, because all of the things that have been hiding in the dark will come to light. If you're short on GameStop, and if you're trying to hide your swaps overseas, and or you're doing a great job at shorting the stock and not telling anyone your short position, your official short position, because you don't have to announce that. I think GameStop's fundamentals are going to prove everybody wrong. I think Wall Street is a ticking time bomb. I think the debt is an issue, and that everyone's carrying over. And you can pump up all the crypto in the world, and you can pump all the blue chips in the world, and I'm all top ticking right now like they are. Nope. You can't confuse me. GameStop was supposed to be bankrupt. They bet against it, and they never closed that short.
I mean, GameStop probably would be bankrupt today if it wasn't for the consistent dilution. If it wasn't for 2021 and the follow-up dilution that Ryan Cohen's done, yeah, they'd probably be bankrupt by now, quite honestly. It's the only thing keeping them alive is the meme stock people, and you can't invent a perpetual motion machine. You can only suck money out of these people for so long.
That's how I feel about it. That's how I look at it. But beyond just a short run or a mo-ass play, that's not what GameStop is for me. It's fundamentally run correctly. Ryan Cohen's invested his time, his energy, his image, his likeliness, and then of course it's just what he's going to be standing.
Does he not understand that Ryan Cohen is invested and he is continuing to like raise the floor on the price by diluting and holding on to that cash, specifically so when it's time for him to leave, he can cash out his shares without the price dropping as much? He's guaranteeing himself a higher price tag on the stock that he has. Like, the entire strategy Ryan Cohen is pursuing right now appears to be, to me, in the service of ensuring when he leaves GameStop and sells his shares, he gets as much as humanly possible by directly extracting value from the GameStop meme stock people. Whatever.
lifetime. So why wouldn't I invest with him? I agree with the way he invests and the way he runs his company, the way he carries himself too. It's admirable. But I'll tell you something else. If you
the
guys
guy who uses book value multiples to value companies because it's the only way to make GME look good. And it's so funny too, because it'll be like, oh, our book value is crazy, like half our value is book value, and then he'll be like, but if you valued the stock at, what was it, 50 times or 5 times or whatever, we should be at 50. And it's like, well, obviously this is a stock that's very, very, very in the book value. Its value now is high. Ugh.
guys are not
What is the
believers,
enterprise value here? None.
watch Wednesday happen. Look what happens with NVIDIA. See if they're still going to continue this charade that everyone is okay with pumping money into one company and they're not receiving a return on investment for the money being spent. Nobody is. There's no return on investment on AI. It's the biggest bubble you've seen, and I would say ever. And some people are going to say it's not a bubble because it doesn't consist of the whole market.
Right, Cross says, FYI, no one serious uses book value multiples to value a company. Book value contributes to price at a multiple less than 1.
Like .com, .com bubble.
Good to know.
Was huge because every company was a .com. Didn't matter. You just put .com, and guess what? You're getting valuations over $1 billion easy back in 2000. That's not the case here.
And that same thing happened with NFTs and Web3, and now it's happening, but kind of collapsing with AI.
But
bubbles happen.
Apparently, if you invest money in the AI, you're getting valuations that you don't deserve, and that's what's happening. So I'm paying attention to the market. I'm sure you are too this week. But for me, I'm going to keep buying GameStop. I'm going to actually load up my brokerage right now, get a share a day. Keeps the doctor away. That's all I'm doing. All right, guys, have a great morning. Pay attention to what I'm telling you guys. I've seen some things crumble.
If he literally just invested in treasury bills himself instead of using GameStop as a middleman, he'd be making more money. Be making any money.
I've seen some things fall down, but no one's answering for them. Let's see if they'd actually answer for it this time. Peace.
No, NVIDIA isn't the only company using AI, but their price is very high because they're supplying the chips that many companies are relying on to develop their various AI projects. It's the selling shovels during a gold rush thing.
Much as I don't like dilution, we need to talk about how Ryan Cohen is raising the floor on GameStop. Like you,
the name of this channel is Lottery Stocks.
Like me, we don't like.
Benekagami says, maybe one day we'll have a system where the capitalists actually suffers when their companies go under. At minimum, maybe they could, I don't know, lose investor trust, or maybe some of their money gets confiscated to pay the creditors. Because functionally these capitalists are the company, so the company's debts should be their debts. I mean, oh god, I don't even know how a system would work if that happened.
Like dilution. It's not necessarily
good.
Like,
I don't think it's working now, but that specifically would cause problems.
Good for shareholders. But in the case of GameStop, Ryan Cohen does it at much better times than a CEO like Adam Aron. Now, what I mean by this is if you look at GameStop, what do you mean by Ryan?
Cloud Wizard said it would also be cool if crime didn't pay. Could we make that happen? That would be good.
Cohen's raising the floor. If you look at GameStop, we have well over the amount of shares circulating right now as we did for a very long time. Over the past 2-3 years. But it's of significance because GameStop was never, ever able to be pushed as low as AMC was able to be pushed. We're still trading.
Talks about being pushed like it's an intentional sabotage and not just, the market movements.
In a decent mid-range on GameStop. Now, The Matrix is having its 25th anniversary, and it's coming back to theaters September 19th and the 22nd. I'm not going to spend a lot of time correlating this, but that is right around the corner. September 19th is Thursday this week. What is also this week? Well, FOMC, which we're going to cover very tiny bit where I think the market is going to go. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to do that at the very end, but I want to talk about GameStop and AMC. Could this correlate? Roaring Kitty has tweeted several times using clips from The Matrix, and we have seen...
He used clips from a lot of movies. He does movie edits. Like, he's done He's done hundreds of references to different movies.
At least I have seen personally and brought to your attention several different theories regarding the Matrix clips that Roaring Kitty has showed us. Now, GameStop is held down through swaps, it's held down through ETFs that hold it, it is overly shorted, multiple floats time and time again, and one
You don't even have evidence of this at this point. What are you talking about? What do you mean it's shorted over the float many times? It absolutely is not at this point.
thing I also want to note is the volume. Based on all those factors, look at how little volume compared to prior volume that we got on this play, yet we still ran up pretty high. GameStop got all the way up to about $65 on way less volume with way more shares circulating. This is why GameStop is more impressive to keep an eye on right now. Okay, if it's all suppressed, what do we also need? We would like to see gamma. We would like to see market makers forcefully purchasing shares of these stocks. And this week, we also have quad witching. It's a very, very important week, and that's why I'm trying to get this video out to you guys on this Sunday. I also have some sort of sinus issue going on. I have a major headache right now, but I'm making this video. Make sure to like this video if you guys haven't yet. GameStop has over 146,000 calls expiring this week with about 60,000 puts. If all of these calls end up going in the money, that'll cause a nice gamma ramp for the play. We also saw a ton of short exempt volumes stack up on the 9th and the 12th for GameStop, and that is exactly why you saw that push down, especially correlated to the volume. Now, AMC is actually not looking as good, not actually even
shows a chart just dropping so hard, not doing so good.
Even close to as good. In fact, it's the opposite. If you look at AMC's volume that we got this time around, it was extremely high compared to back here. You did not see a lot of volume. And again, this is adjusted based on the shares that there is circulating. And we have had insane volume on the push up on AMC, yet we didn't really get anywhere. We got basically nowhere on this stock. What was it? A high of $9. And the very high of this play is over $300, $340, right? So we had more volume than the previous run up and way less of a move, when GameStop had less volume and not more of a move, but a pretty big move, coming up to 65 when the high of it was only at 120. Okay, so the same thing for AMC. AMC should have ran to about 160 to 200, right? Now, AMC coming into the week has
I did see that MH Dark Beast. I wish I'd gotten to see that. That would have been very strange and interesting. Benikagami with 41 bits says, I'm just so sick of everyone suffering when a company fails except the people most responsible for that failure. A lot of those times those people profit. I get it. I get it. Everything sucks.
1.6 million shares available to borrow on it, and a huge options chain with 215,000 calls expiring in the money and only 60,000 puts. I'm sorry, not expiring in the money, but calls this week in general. If we start to scale higher and get a gamma ramp, that will look great for AMC as well. Also for AMC, AMC Theaters just partnered with DoorDash for delivery. Company expects deal to be nationwide by...
Wait, what? Oh my god, like you're gonna order on DoorDash, like, oh, I want popcorn, or I want theater pizza, or chicken tenders? Theater food is already so ridiculously marked up, and you want to add on the charges for fucking DoorDash? Oh god, why would you ever want AMC chicken tenders instead of somewhere else? You would literally DoorDash frozen chicken tenders from like a Walmart that probably taste about the same. Or just go to the store and buy chicken tenders. What the fuck? You're gonna order DoorDash AMC theater concessions? What are we doing with our economic system? What have we done? You wanna pay someone under minimum wage potentially to go pick up AMC concession stand food and drive it to your house? You need help. What are you doing? Stop it. Oh man, you know what would be really good right now? Some snow caps, but for like 30 times the price I could get them at the dollar store. Let's DoorDash it. Oh god.
by spring 2025, expanding current Uber Eats alliance. Also pretty good for the fundamental side of things, AMC is trying to expand. I want to cover a couple of things that could be very dangerous for the crypto market and could essentially also lead to other plays in your portfolio. First of all, Bitcoin mining will become legal in Russia on November 1st, but it currently costs $80,000 on average to mine a Bitcoin worth only $60K. Bitcoin is highly unstable. Now, it depends on the way you look at this. One thing I will say, November election, if Kamala gets elected, Bitcoin is likely to crash, as I believe she is trying to tax your unrealized gains on Bitcoin. Trump,
hey, another reason to vote for Kamala,
is very pro-Bitcoin. If Trump wins, Bitcoin is likely to go higher. These are just my personal opinion. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And since it costs more than a Bitcoin's worth, 80K, to mine a Bitcoin worth about 60K, this could also mean that Bitcoin will easily surpass 80, coming to fair value for Bitcoin mining, especially if other countries are about to make Bitcoin mining legal, right? If they think it's worth it, then they think Bitcoin could be undervalued at these levels, at these lows. Now, rumors are also circulating that Coinbase is writing Bitcoin IOUs for BlackRock and they are suppressing the price, which is very likely, and that's why you see Bitcoin trading in this sideways channel, the longest it has ever traded in a sideways channel, when what's new? Bitcoin ETFs, right? These ETFs were approved by the SEC for the first time, and now Bitcoin is all of a sudden channel trading for the longest it has ever channel traded. They need as much control as they can get. Now, what I will say is we are about to close, hopefully this Sunday, above the level that I called out, 59,700. I want to get a close above that. We are just about 400 above that, trading at 60,100 on Bitcoin. Okay, touching on banks really quick, the OCC just cracked down on Wells Fargo, flagging weak spots in its AML controls and risk management.
Kitara says, use clarified butter ghee with flavacol seasoning salt along with your choice of seasoning to make popcorn just as good if not better than movie theater popcorn. Literally making clarified butter while listening to this stream. Nice. For Christmas a couple years ago, we got a big popcorn maker, like one of the actual ones for that, you know, looks like the movie theater ones. We make popcorn from time to time, and it's very good.
This movie,
you can get all sorts of special popcorn oil that's different flavors. It's pretty neat.
Could stall the lifting of its asset cap and put other big banks under the microscope. Are these banks worried? We have seen not a lot of great things happening with big banks, and a crackdown is happening as well with big banks, especially with the...
Okay, this guy's boring me at this point.
Welcome back, guys, to the GameStop trade update. Today I have something very important to discuss here, and I'm gonna make this nice and easy because the road for GameStop is going to be nice and easy. By the way, thank you very much to all the panic sellers yesterday. We ended up getting GameStop even cheaper, and I ended up doubling the position I already have. I just couldn't say no. 17
double or nothing.
17,500 shares is the current position at $26. Okay, and you can
below $26 now, so he's lost even more, assuming he's held.
See my P&L there. Okay, so this is the current position. Let's talk about GameStop and the annual general meeting. Everybody was expecting something to be said. I expected nothing, by the way, but it would have been nice to get something. And people were expecting something to do with what they're going to do with their cash pile. But they gave us something even better. Something that I think every value investor is going to be looking for if they're looking at GameStop as an opportunity. And that is what they're going to do if they don't use the cash. And basically what they said is we're going to shrink our stores even more. That is great. And I just posted an article on Patreon discussing why this is great. And I want you guys to go have a look. It's public, it's free. You can just read it, okay? And basically, them shrinking means they're gonna cut costs even more. They have $4 billion in the bank, earn interest or a treasury yield or a money fund. While shrinking, you can turn a profit just on the interest you receive on the $4 billion in the bank. You don't have to use it while shrinking. So
then what's the business? Just being a middleman to buy treasuries? What the fuck?
When you do that and you're finally break even or profitable on your stores and you got rid of the bad business, now you can go on the offensive and use those billions to acquire and grow. First,
okay, but they're not doing that. They've given no forward guidance. If they're doing an M&A, What is it? What are they doing? What's their plan?
You have to look after the fundamentals, make sure they're not going to cost you money. And this is great that they said, you know what, we're going to continuously shrink. Because what it means is they're not going to tap into the billions and just throw money at a failing.
They have a concept of a plan.
Business. This is what you expect from a CEO. This is what I wanted to see. Matter of fact, this is what everybody else who's invested in GameStop wants to see. Of course, not the noobs who just got into it because
the noobs. He's using the term noobs.
Roaring Kitty. By the way, we picked this stock when it was $17 a few weeks ago. If you followed the Patreon, and we were here, $16, and then he showed up here, and
Kai, thanks for 40 months.
You have to understand, I went in this because I seen the opportunity. This was a business that's coming out of a hole. A business that's coming out of a hole is going to see a lot of volatility and momentum, regardless of who's hyping it up. It's just going to happen automatically. So this is a business that's going to see more volatility to the upside. Now, when? Well, I don't decide when. All I decide is this a good business and is this worth investing in? And of course, after looking at it, we know there is 4 billion cash and 8 billion market cap. So this company has half of its market cap in cash. That's unheard of.
I mean, that's helpful if they go bankrupt and they need to liquidate the company.
Right? It's unheard of, guys. So it's just crazy. Now imagine they go and acquire an acquisition. That's another thing. I won't discuss this. But all I'm here telling you guys, I just wanted to update you with my position, of course. I didn't want to say anything. There's nothing to say. I don't want to hype you up. All I wanted to do is tell you, well, I've updated my position. I've added more. And my average is this and that. There's going to be more momentum to the upside. Maybe you get momentum to the downside first. I don't know. Maybe you get this to $21 and then back up. Okay? That's a possibility.
You could literally replace all of this talking with just someone playing roulette and being like, it might go to red, it might go to black, it might be an even number, it might be an odd number. Nobody knows.
I don't know. But all I know is I'm not going to go, or this business is not going to go bankrupt or get delisted. And that fear is now long gone with the 4 billion. And the acquisition thing is going to happen eventually, guys. This is not AMC, by the way. This is not a meme stock anymore. Okay? You just have to be, I know a lot of people struggle with maintaining confidence when the price is down. They're usually confident when things are pointing up, and they lack confidence when it's pointing down. My suggestion to you guys is not to actually watch the prices, guys. Don't watch it. Just go on about your business. Enjoy the summer. And my first trade ever when I entered the markets, you know, I entered a trade and I went on a holiday to Morocco and enjoyed my time there for a week. And I came back and I looked at my phone. American Airlines, back when American Airlines was at $30, $40, netted me 500 euros. And I was like, wow, this is great, you know. But in the meantime, I wasn't thinking about it, you know. I think it's only when you stop thinking about something that it starts working out. And I don't know, maybe that's just a conspiracy theory, but this is what you have to do, is give this stock some time, guys. Give the market time, okay? And I think we're going to see more upside than downside going forward for this stock. This is a gaming stock. It's a gaming stock with billions in the bank, and they can go ahead and start sending out headlines.
To be clear, it's a retail stock. They're not in the business of making video games. They're in the business of selling video games.
Guaranteed the headlines will come. Like, there's more upside now than downside for this company. So there will be positivity shared in the future. So even if we see downside, meantime, in this stock price, we know it's going to be chased by upside eventually. It's okay, so it's like almost guaranteed in a way. But the AGM was positive in my opinion. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Money's not being wasted on a failing business, more shrinkage, consolidation, and then go on the offensive. And that's
the failing business is their business. Fun fact. Steve the Q says he's right. You have to you have to have confidence. You could say the biggest winners in the stock market are confidence men.
What we expect. Appreciate you for watching, guys. Smash that like button. Share this with people who are scared right now, for chat forums and whatnot. But I don't think we're going to need them anyways because the big money's coming. Hedge funds and whatnot. Thank you very much for watching. And follow the Patreon, like I said, so you don't miss these articles that I post. And I'll see you guys next time as always. Bye.
Yeah. So what do you think? Okay. I mean, you know, we've kind of been going back and forth, you know,
This is about Bed Bath & Beyond. This was recent. This is from the last week or so.
there's a lot of speculation whether or not this could in fact be going to some form of like maybe like a T0 type of scenario. You know, nobody really knows, and it's all up in the air where we're going to kind of get our equity from. Are we going back to the market? Are we getting, you know, just like a private cash kind of buyout? I mean, there's a lot of scenario here that obviously are being thrown around. I mean, in your opinion, where do you kind of think that we're at today? And please, if you want to add any.
Canceled. You're canceled. Your shares were canceled. You don't have shares. You get nothing. A year ago. Isn't Bed Bath gone? Correct. The shares were canceled. A year ago.
Thing to some of this mezzanine stuff or any of the stuff that we were discussing with games.
Is it you, or does PP sound more and more like an AI voice clone of PP? It might be Reddit's compression on their video. Whatever. Their video player.
Stop. Would love to hear it tonight. Okay, bets.
The 2034 and 2044 bonds will be converted to equity.
Okay, Bets looks a little bit like, what's his name? The Winter Soldier. Sebastian Stan. He looks a little bit like Sebastian Stan. Not an insult, just something I've noticed. Nothing wrong with looking like Sebastian Stan.
24 bonds will be converted to cash. The cash portion that we will get as equity holders will be from JP Morgan, and that's all I have to report. There will be equity assigned.
Oh, someone added a laugh track. I hate that.
To those that have, what is it called? You know, like they own like shares of Bed Bath, and that's about it. I mean, this is, I'm not unsure about this. Do you get what I mean? I mean, I get people that doubt this, but it's quite certain at this point.
How can you say it is certain at this point in time?
I did see that, Generdy. That movie is probably going to be bad.
Okay.
The trailer, I was actually kind of excited for that movie because I like Sebastian Stan, and you could do an interesting story about Trump when he was younger. The trailer didn't look very good, just in my opinion. I could be wrong. I hope it's good. But kind of hard to do Trump because he's like, if you portray Trump exactly like he is in real life, it feels cartoonish because he's a very cartoonish man. So it's hard to get that right in a serious movie, you know?
Okay, bet. And real quick, we got Douglas Dixon out there with the 2. Appreciate that too, man. Mags with the 2. We're about to be rich as fuck, fellas.
No, shareholders are not creditors in this, no.
Love y'all. Madman Max with the 1 PP Show gift to membership. Appreciate your support, man. We also got Bill Jeet out there with the 2. Take his ballot, get him off the show. Why do you say that it's for sure? Okay, bet.
It's because we did peyote together and we saw it in a vision.
Yeah, we... Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's exactly what we did. And so why do I think it's certain? Well,
yes. What leads you to believe that?
Yeah, so the evidence suggests
the evidence is I made it the fuck up.
That we would get something, right? The problem is it's very easy for Cohen to admit, like I'm just saying legally very easy to admit that, oh, I'm not involved with this, okay? Mm-hmm. Can we go back a little bit? So he had a 16B case. That was dismissed. That's fine. Then he had a pump and dump case. Now, the pump and dump case had a deposition, okay? It's called depot, all right? The people in the legal field, we call it depot, okay? With depositions, the issue is he can't really plead the fifth. Do you get what I'm saying? So in simple cases, you can plead the fifth. Okay, you can try. Okay, actually, Trump has tried. Didn't go well for him. Okay, you can technically you can plead the fifth. It's not going to work for you. This pleading of the fifth only really works in federal cases. Okay, so the fact that he was willing to go in front of a civil deposition and then say, so on and so on about GameStop, it's fairly significant, don't you think? I mean, it's fairly significant, no?
I mean, I've been looking at this, look, I've been involved in this Bed Bath play as well as GameStop for a multitude of years now, and I most certainly think there are connections, right? My biggest thing is how they're essentially going to do this. Maybe, there's been a lot of speculation why HBC, all of their dockets are all redacted, right? Like, we can't truly know what kind of transaction was taking place here. I mean, there's large pages of just straight black text that, says nothing, right? There's no way to know. And I don't know who it was who came onto the show and kind of highlighted it too. They had pointed out that those could in fact be maybe bank accounts they were using and things like that, which would be redacted. I don't know, right?
Nobody knows what the fuck's going on, man.
Right? You have another scenario where it could in fact be the senior creditor who is Sixth Street. I mean, we can all agree on one thing, right? Which is fact, is that the company got a lot of money, a lot of cash, and they allocated $500 million towards this ABL months before bankruptcy so that they could free the lien on Baby, right? So that they can kind of get rid of JPM. So
and they sold Baby for $15.5 million.
I don't know,
which I think barely covered like 2 or 3 months of lawyer costs for them.
If you analyze it, I would agree. It does kind of seem that way. I'm just more curious, whether it will be on blockchain or not, or maybe it will be, obviously being traded back on the NASDAQ and things like that.
No, it will be on blockchain. You go back to July 7th. Okay.
Why in the world would it be on the blockchain? Stop trying to shove crypto into everything, including your delusions.
You have to understand, PP, when I showed up on this show, I had to get clearances from my attorney. Okay.
I recall that. Yeah.
I have 2 attorneys, and I had to get.
I'm actually not sure, Harold Ebleman.
Clearances from them, and I had notified you guys that there's gonna be two squeezes. Okay, one decentralized, one centralized. I said this 1 year ago. This was July 7th, 2023. You can go back and PP and at the time ABC, actually Michael was there as well. They facilitated a phenomenal show. Okay, we have to listen to them. Okay, and so I notified you guys that, hey, this is what's going on. The attorneys had instructed me, hey.
What's the movie where Peter Cushing is looking at a thing through a magnifying glass and his eye is big and you think it's because of the magnifying glass, but then he moves his eye and he just has a big eye? Does anyone remember what movie I'm talking about? That's gonna drive me nuts.
Don't talk about...
Was that top secret? Okay.
Crypto. Don't talk about T0. Don't talk about, anything relevant. And that's all I came up with. That's all I talked about. Okay, if you've noticed, I said, "Fuck it, don't worry about it. We're gonna get it done." Okay, and so that's all I've been talking about for the past year. It's been ad nauseum at this point. No.
I mean, I enjoy it. I like hearing your opinions. I
gotta fill time somehow.
I like it personally.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So and Michael and I also talked about this extensively, where it was like, it has to, a portion of it has to be decentralized, and I believe it is.
I haven't seen Horror Express. I know it has Christopher Lee in it, and I know it's like a monster on a train. I haven't seen it yet though.
It's based on the.
There was an episode of Creep Show that utilized that as a jumping off device. I don't want to spoil it. But Justin Long basically uses VR to insert himself in that movie. That's how I learned about that movie.
T0 patents that have been released as of the end of March. There is a self-regulating ERC20 token. It's not the best. And I said this last year. I said it's not going to be ideal, but it'll be close. It'll be good enough. Okay? And so that's kind of what we're looking for. is it good enough? And I believe it is. Okay. There is a self-regulating ERC20 token, and that's what I was looking for. Is like, are they going to be able to release this patent? And they were. It was at the end of March. So that was it. The can we talk about the ATMs? Is that okay?
Yeah, please. Yeah. And I have something on screen here that I'll minimize for now, but I do want to come back to the convertible stuff here that some people were pointing out over the last couple of days. Yeah, take it away for us, man. ATMs, let's hear it.
Again, the ATMs are the at-the-market offerings where GameStop sold a bunch more shares to the public, thus lowering the price of the stock by increasing the supply.
So the ATMs, as you may have noticed, there have been several, right? There's one through Beyond, there's one through GameStop, there's one through what did I say? GameStop, Beyond. What else? Newell had one. Okay, $2 billion. Are you out of your mind? That's 50% of the company. What's going on over here? Okay. In addition, there's one through something else. I don't quite remember. Okay. Now, confession, I've had a martini before this, so you need to let me go. All right. But that's about it. The at the market, the ATM offerings have a provision, according to GameStop, that can include cryptocurrency. Did you notice the S3?
Yeah, no, it did say something about, yeah.
A little weird, right? You can have an S3. Okay, let's get passionate about this. You can have an S3 with a bunch of legal opinions inserted inside. Okay? Very weird to me. I think it's also a little weird to them. A little unconventional.
Jerry Diamond says GME is a deal with Alluvium that makes games. Alluvium makes games. Is that the Web3 company? Yeah, these are the people that make the shitty blockchain games. Oh no. Oh hun, Jerry Diamond. This isn't a real game company. This is a scam wearing a video game suit. My god. Oh, ooh.
I think I also told Michael about this, okay? All right?
There's also a lot of brand new precedent that's being set, right? Like,
I agree.
If you look at the Rite Aid, they were quoting the Bed Bath case and vice versa, right? Like, because it was immediately new
Temu Fortnite
precedent being set. And I think it's because of now that they're finally addressing the fraud, and now that, you know, the SEC is out of the hands of the Chevron doctrine and stuff, like, they have a lot more power, and so law is changing more now than in the last year. It's changed more than, you know, for quite a while. So I think that's why, like, they would, like, it would be weird to have all this new stuff put in these S3s, but they would all be carrying it, is because maybe they're all part of this redemption, I guess, of retail, this redemption of all these companies that were illegally naked shorted.
Going back to that.
Yes, I agree. Although the Chevron doctrine, that would maybe
just
that has some correlation.
Because like Doug Sifu said, he's like, I could tie up, like, so Greg Ginzler get rid of the order flow.
Shut up!
Right? He's like,
Shut up!
Like a market making.
Okay, they ended that clip with that.
Discount what GameStop is doing right now, and the fact that no one's giving the valuation what it should be. The value of this stock is more than anything. Now, here's the other part about this. Okay, I don't want to get this across to everybody so that we understand that we're all on the same page. Meltdowners, hi. CPAs, all you bullshitters, all you stock analyst guys, Tony De Niro, May, Marcus May, all this shit. When they talk about...
Still not a lie that they don't make games, multiple topics, misinformation, or straight lying. No, partnering with a game company doesn't mean they make games. What?
GameStop, and they
That's
try
like saying they make controllers because they're partners with the company that does CandyCon, right? They don't make controllers, they buy them from a company.
Compare it, and they use the metrics of, profit versus earnings, and they'll use PE ratios, they'll use free cash flow, they'll use different metrics. I can't think of all the ones.
Benekagami says, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it a problem for GameStop that these guys hoard the stocks? Like, don't companies benefit from people actually trading the stock? Isn't that part of the point of dilution? Well, whenever it goes up, they dilute and they make money. They don't necessarily benefit from it trading flat. If it goes up, it's good for them.
EPS.
And people holding is potentially good for that if enough people do it, because they're basically locking it down so that's not available to the market, thus lowering the open supply that's open to be sold.
They'll use, you can even use operating profit versus actual profit. Everything they tell you guys, right? Everything they put out there just to throw a little bit of doubt into you.
Free cash flow analysis is used for value investing. It's like the biggest thing. But have you considered their book value?
Remember this little caveat, little thing. They are measuring GameStop compared to the measurables of growth stocks.
Not really. Not really, I wouldn't say. It just needs to make money based on its actual business instead of T-bills, and I think people would be better with it. But no, they don't seem to have any sort of forward guidance, so what are people to expect?
They are not comparing GameStop for the true value that it is. You see, 4 years ago, people know this, 3.5 years ago, if you were here with the channel, GameStop used to be a growth stock.
Was it?
Like everyone else.
I don't think it was. I think you just said that to make yourself feel better about the investment. They've done nothing but shrink. They've shrunk their footprint a lot. Their revenue is down year over year consistently. They're losing like 30% of their revenue per year consistently. That's bad, generally speaking.
Borrowing money, trying to grow, trying to expand, and that's how you get your value. People come up and they go, this company X by XYZ on multiples, and this is what it should be. It might even be just a retail sales multiple. It might be your sales multiple and 2x, right, of total sales. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They use all these metrics to measure what your value should be on Wall Street. But no one is remembering that GameStop, because the only analyst is Michael Packer and Wedbush, and they're short the stock and they don't care, so they put it all the way down to cash value. How the hell is GameStop only worth cash when they...
Because their actual enterprise value, what they are doing as a company, their, what's it called? Their, oh god, there's a phrase I'm forgetting. Basically, the money, the revenue that they have coming in, not through their investments, but through their actual business model, doesn't make money. So why would they value it above their book value?
They make a profit, and they have assets, and they have leadership, they have conviction, they have us, they have social sentiment, positive, they have everything. So how the hell is it only worth cash? Okay, that's fine. Remember
operating profit, thank you.
That they were a growth stock, but somewhere in 2021, every analyst walked away from the company, said we're no longer giving out guidance, because GameStop wouldn't give out guidance, so they refused to cover it. And now they called it a value stock. Okay, Wall Street, when are you going to start putting a value on GameStop for the same metrics that you measure value stocks on?
When it becomes... Kill that bit. When it becomes valuable. When it becomes something of value, they'll treat it as such.
That's why I talk about ratios. That's why I talk about inventory control ratios. That's why I talk about current ratio. This is what I talk about, shareholder equity and book value. These are the values that you use when you're measuring value stocks. I promise you, you don't do that when you're measuring growth stocks, because growth stocks tend to have debt because you're borrowing money to eventually pay it back once you keep growing.
Lots of companies have debt for a variety of reasons.
Growing and showing profits. You show them forward, right? This is all about forward forward trailing 12, but the forward projections for trailing 12. And you're like, okay, well, the forward 12 is this versus what the previous 12. So if you're going to grade a company and give it value in stock, you stop doing this bullshit of, well, what's GameStop going to do moving forward? What are they going to do? They haven't told you their plan, what they're going to do with the $4 billion. They don't need, they're not a growth company.
Then what are they going to do with the $4 billion? Just sit on it and do nothing?
They don't need to tell you what they're going to do with their money. Give them value for what they just did with their money and their offering and what the company's worth. That's the difference between growth and value. Nobody's doing it. Wall Street's not doing it. The Meltdowners know this. They know what the fucking game they're playing. Excuse my language tonight. I'm getting colorful right now. But they know this. And this is what they do to you. They manipulate you.
I think that's it. I had a few other things, but this is just really sad, so I don't think I want to play it. It's someone who got scammed by the PP people thinking they're going to make money, and they cry, and that's just sad, so I don't want to play that. The other stuff's just random PP show. I think we get it. Wait, was there a GME rap? I feel like there was a GME rap a while back. I think it was the same guy that did the DRS song, right? Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
But like, I don't think they prepared for this world. Like, I think these nerds online with this whole GameStop thing, they've kind of flipped the tray over. It's like, fuck your game, right? We'll play it this way.
That's what happened during it. I remember Robinhood stopped people's ability to trade. Everyone was like, what the? How can you?
It's another YOLO again, you know what I'm saying? It's how I roll.
I'm not a fan of short sellers.
RC's delivering. This is not a quick fix, pump and dump flip. This a chin kick to the seller box fiends. Pissed cause the MSM plays to the ears of the fears and the sheep just eat it up. If you wanna break out, read some due diligence. Broken down Puerto Rico to illiterate. And we're not forgetting that the chairman wants memes, we deliver it. Deliver it, right? Deliver.
Oh, God. Is this GameStop related, or is this just random?
Swagged out character, just living out the dream. Ay, gangsters roam, the OGs in the zone, legends on the throne. Yeah,
Oh, good. I think that's just a normal rap.
Deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. Deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. Deliver it, Ryan, deliver. Yeah, he gonna deliver the package with the NFT marketplace stacking. Packaged in the bag for the GameStop savages. 125K and we're the baddest, and I feel like, you never seen a revolution so strong. Come along, put your flags, put your mother lover hands up. Coming up the ass with the cash and the shivering, considering the RC's delivering. This is not a quick fix, pump and dump flip. This a chin kick to the seller box fiends. Pissed cause the MSM plays to the ears of the fears and the sheep just eat it up. If you wanna break out, read some due diligence. Broken down Puerto Rico to illiterate.
This is old. This is from 2 years ago.
And we're not forgetting that the chairman wants memes, we deliver it. Deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. Deliver it, Ryan, deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. RC, deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. They ain't seen me since last time, and I know they don't wanna see me. Deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. Deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. Last time, yeah. Deliver it, Ryan, deliver it. Last time people were excited to see me.
I might get a can of mayo. Put it in the air, maybe attract some fakos. So many synthetics out here floating about. And we get labeled as schizophrenics when we call it out. I just want some balance, it's a challenge.
Hold on, this just makes me... I need to watch The Crocodile of Wall Street now. This is not strictly GameStop related in any way. This is Razzlecon, who I believe went to jail for the largest crypto money laundering in history, and she used that money when she was still free to make rap videos.
Never forget, weirdest is most original.
Jerry Diamond, I didn't just hear about Illuvium. I thought it was the thing that I remembered it being, and I checked, and it was. I've heard about it before. I just couldn't remember if I was remembering correctly. Also, if it's Web3, it's a good guess that it's a scam. So even if I hadn't heard of it, pretty good chance. But I have.
WrestleCon, the Versace better win. Come real far, but don't know where I'm heading. Motherfucking crocodile of Wall Street. Silver on my fingers.
If I stole like $1 billion, I hope I do cringe shit like this.
And boots on my feet.
Why do you steal $1 billion if not to do cringe shit and not care?
Always be a goat, not a goddamn sheep. Email me, fuck your message at the beep. Beep, beep, beep. Spirit of a revolutionary, power of a dictator. Love to be contrary, but I'm fly like a gator. I've got pilot blood, I'm a real risk taker. Pirate riding the flood, badass.
This beat's much better? Yeah, she had more money from her crimes to buy things like proper beats.
Money maker, grandmother crocodile, weirder than an X-File, brief fire, silver, so sexy when I slither, sparkle on my little finger, hell of arousal ear to ear, poised to throw a zinger, playing on their worst fear. WrestleCon, the Versace better win, come real far but don't know where I'm heading, motherfucking crocodile of Wall Street, silver on my fingers and boots on my feet, always be a goat, not a goddamn sheep. Email me, fuck your message at the beep. Beep, beep, beep. WrestleCon's the name, that hot grandma. You really wanna bang. Always run the guilt game, ever since I was 15. I'm many things. A rapper, an economist, a journalist, a writer, a CEO, and a dirty hoe. Better than most writers, creepier than most girls, weirder than most rappers.
Jerry Diamond says Mod Retro's gonna look sick with your collection in the background, exclusive at GME. First of all, it's only one color of the Mod Retro that's exclusive to GameStop. Second of all, these are movies, not games. I don't collect physical games, I collect physical movies.
Rock Pearls, WrestleCon.
Do you think that the Mod Retro is gonna make a big difference to GME's bottom line, Jerry?
The Versace better win. Come real far, but don't know where I'm heading. Motherfucking crocodile of Wall Street. Silver on my fingers and boots on my feet. Always be a goat, not a goddamn sheep. Email me, fuck your message at the beep. Beep, beep, beep. The Versace better win. Got the bling that win. With the Berber might, I'll win every fight. My swag ain't just lit. Silver really packs a hit. Fobby fashion so legit. Pussy bitches saying stop, about to pop, ain't gon' quit. They say Raz a filthy bitch, but they're jealous of my tits, my eyes, my nose, my bling, my clothes, these rings, my hose. Everyone knows I don't fuck with no bros. Unless they're gay, gays don't count, they're exempt. WrestleCon, the Versace better win. Come real far, but don't know where I'm heading. Motherfucking crocodile of Wall Street. Silver on my fingers and boots on my feet. Always be a goat, not a goddamn sheep. Email me, fuck your message at the beep. Beep, beep, beep. Everyone worries too much about what's proper, but not Raz, no shame, that don't stop her. Blindly following rules is for fools. Instead, I work the edge cases with my tools. Awkward as fuck. Act shit like a whirling dervish, better duck. This bitch is Turkish, don't pressure luck. ISIS can't handle them Kurdish. Fuck your Jane Austen romance, rather be taking a taxidermy class. Prefer Vietnam over France, doing my jerk-off dance. Looking like a gay male stripper, but my synesthesia world is even trippier.
Terrible. Just terrible. So that's RazzleCon. Like an SNL skit. I think that's mean to SNL. Alright. GamerG says, did you see Trump is launching a crypto token today? The Twitter space announcing it starts in 15 minutes. Oh god, are you serious? That's gonna be funny. I'm sure we'll cover that on the next MAGA Cope or something. Jesus. Must be desperate for money. Alright, so thanks everyone. I've had fun hanging out today. It's appreciated. Enjoy going over the meme stock stuff with you guys. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so of course we'll be back tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday, covering weird conspiracy theorists and their strange theories. So come hang out for that. It'll be fun. And let's see who we're gonna raid on Twitch. We will raid VC Archives. Lupine is meowing at me. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, by the way, like the stream. Alright. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love you, Mr. Blast. The rest of you, thank you so much for hanging out as always. I'll see you soon. Have a great night. And have good dreams. Bye, everyone.